get ready, because it's time for Geek Bombast, the weekly podcast dedicated to bring you news and general discussion on comics, movies, TV, video games, and anything else deemed totally awesome. On the show this week is Rod Nunley, Michael Riojas, Amanda Arias, and myself, John Sitton. Holy crap, there's 4 of us here.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
I'll go.
It's like one more than 3.
It is. It's
Ninja Turtles.
Oh wow! Yeah. It's an entire
James
ninja.
Raphael.
Okay.
None of us wants to be Venus.
Nobody wants to be. Nobody wants to be who?
Venus.
That's like wrong.
Yeah, but well, we need a 5th person for that one, right?
Well, the dog counts. There's a dog here.
Making the dog be Venus. No, the dog's Splinter. The
dog's Splinter.
The dog
I'm
is
cool with this.
Splinter, yeah.
Yeah, the dog is Splinter. So how's everybody doing this week?
Good.
Doing well.
I watched F is for Family, season 3.
I haven't even watched season 2 yet.
I haven't
Me
watched
too.
it at all.
I'm a big fan of that show.
It's pretty good. It's
Yeah.
a pretty good show.
Season 2 is
if
a little batshit insane towards the second half, but 3 is a little more tame compared to it.
if you like Bill Burr, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyone do anything, get anything crazy for Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Cyber Monday?
I got a Switch.
Yeah.
Nintendo Switch, not the weapon.
Oh, okay. You went to a tree and just tore one
Yeah,
down.
and I started beating Black Friday customers with it.
You
No.
get in the front of the line.
Exactly. That's how I got the Switch. I got not the 3DS. I got a Nintendo Switch with the Mario Kart bundle that came out from Black Friday.
Nice.
So it came with Mario Kart. I then bought Street Fighter, the 30th anniversary collection with it. And then I bought Mighty Gunvolt. Because it was on sale as
Mighty
well,
Gunvolt.
which is really good, really fun too. My roommate bought Snipper Clips for it. 'Cause
I
he
love
wanted to
Snipper
play
Clips. It's such a fun game.
that. Yeah, he's been playing it like crazy.
Yeah. You get anything, Rob?
A stack of movies.
Yeah.
I like wandering in and buying. Like, I wandered in at like 8:30 at night on Thursday night.
Oh, yeah.
And it was pretty low-key, actually, which was nice. And I just, I bought a stack of super cheap movies. So, Star Trek Discovery Season 1 and Legion Season 1.
Oh, really? How much were those?
$10.
Oh, shit.
On Blu-ray? Yeah, it was a good deal.
I would have actually
Maybe 14.
Wished I would have
10, 14, something like that.
still
Cheap either
both
way.
case. Yeah. I wish I would have known about that.
Yeah.
Wow. Thanks for sending the link, Rod.
You were responsible for your own Black Friday
You're
deal,
right.
man.
Yeah.
It is,
You got to do your own research.
it is,
that's definitely it. We got a new projector
Ooh.
because our old
Fancy.
one broke.
Yeah, and even had it not, I mean, the bulbs are so expensive, it's almost
yeah.
cheaper to just buy a new one.
Yeah.
Well, it was funny because it was like the same week we were like, you know what, maybe this year for check the sale on Black Friday and we'll get a new projector. And then like 2 days later, a projector died.
And not even like the bulb breaking, like
The
projector.
The projector was like,
the
I heard
bulb
you.
is still good.
I heard you.
Exactly.
Fine. You want to be like that?
Yeah, the bulb actually was still fine. It was the projector actually broken, was not repairable. So now we got like a nice like 4K projector, future proofed.
How big is the screen now? Is it just
I don't know. We haven't
600
measured.
inches?
Yeah, it's
Diagonal.
huge.
Yeah.
I don't know how many inches it is.
I mean, that's
it's
what
a wall.
When I bought my TV, it was definitely like with the thought of, I don't want to buy a TV for another 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought about getting a TV, but then the Switch was there, and I was like, ooh, this is a good idea.
And I would say this year, the TVs were really the only truly outrageous deals, and there were tons of them. Like, it felt like, I went into that Best Buy, it felt like every TV was dirt cheap. It was pretty crazy.
We had a friend that bought, what was it, like a 50-inch 4K that was like 200 and some odd
Yeah, they
dollars.
had
Like,
a
it was
55-inch for like just under $4.
Yeah, that's crazy. I was definitely not expecting that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that was crazy. And then the other thing I bought was an ugly Christmas sweater that was on sale.
Nice.
From Nakatomi Inc. It was a
Frank Frazetta?
Frank Frazetta Death Star.
Cool.
He's just really hyped about
Yeah.
it. It's so funny to me when he's like...
Incredibly hyped.
I am incredibly happy about that purchase. Like, that's probably
Oh, I bought.
the most
it was
excited thing I
right
bought.
around that same time I bought the from Mondo, the Bill and Ted soundtrack.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
Nice.
Which is cool because the cover is Wild Stallions cover.
Yeah.
It's
Nice.
not Bill and Ted's. It's the cover in the movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
And it's like a hologram print. The lettering is like
nice.
that rainbow shimmery whatever.
And then when you
crown.
move it, they move their arms. or
No, it
whatever,
doesn't do
or-
that. It doesn't do that.
okay.
No, it's just the lettering of the logo of the name
okay.
is
Just
like
kinda
a
like
shimmery.
pops out.
Yeah. Okay.
I will say I had an issue with it. It was side 2 at a scratch on one of the songs. First time I played it. What was cool was I emailed them after hours on a weekend. I got an auto response that says, "Hey, we'll reply on Monday." And then within an hour, I got an email saying, "Hey, no worries, we'll send you a new one."
Wow.
And then I said, "Well, do I need to send the old one back?" And they were like, "Nope, you're cool, don't worry about it."
Wow, that's amazing.
So really good customer service, very fast, and just like, yeah, we'll take care of it, which I thought was very nice. I was a little worried. I thought with Mondo, like,
and now you
that
got
stuff's
like 2
super
copies.
limited
yeah,
edition.
very much.
Yeah, I framed the original, so it's hanging up in my living room now.
Nice.
Can't see it from here.
No, okay.
I know, but you got a lot of stuff framed that I'm like, ooh,
there's a lot of
I was
shit
not
here.
looking.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we got a lot of stuff to talk about today.
I was putting together a list of stuff I may talk about to send, and I was like, oh, I may not talk about all this stuff. This is a lot of stuff. I thought, I better hurry up and find some stuff. I don't know. I have a lot.
Yeah, but before we get to that, we got to talk about the news.
Yeah, hit me with it.
So first up in the news, I just needed to.
I know. It's fine.
So whatever. So first up in the news, this is something. Actually, when I saw this, I actually thought of you, Rod.
It's nice to be thought of.
Yeah. Disney, Star Wars. I've
heard of them.
Yeah.
Both of those are very popular names.
It turns out that
like those.
Lucasfilm and Disney, they kind of realized that kids today, they don't really look at Star Wars films the way that, say, you and I did. We even had a conversation about this.
We talked about this last time we recorded. Yeah.
Long time,
Long time ago.
One of the times, like 2 weeks ago, maybe
a galaxy far away.
Yeah, something like that. But anyways, so they recently started up a new YouTube channel called Star Wars Kids. Have you seen this?
I think I saw the trailer for this or something for it. If it's what I think you're about to talk about.
Yeah, it probably is. So they've started up a new series that debuted on November 30th. So it's the first 6 episodes are already out, and it's called Star Wars Galaxy of Adventures, and they're little 1 minute long clips that are basically using audio from the original movies and then animating them for kids. That's meant they're not. And what's Amanda and I actually watched all of these, and
we had 6 minutes to spare.
Yeah, you can watch all of them in under 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And there's going to be more. But they're really cool. They're really
basically retelling the original.
Yeah.
It gives you little snippets of an introduction to Luke Skywalker. Some of them were Darth Vader.
Yeah.
I think one was just a scene with Han Solo and Chewbacca.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I really appreciated is that it doesn't spoil. So they talk about Luke Skywalker and his battles against Darth Vader, but they don't talk about who Darth Vader is, except that he...
Spoilers.
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
sister's roommate's uncle.
The point is it's supposed to introduce kids, so you're not going to, if
and there's even an episode where they talk about Darth Vader, and they talk about how he was a Jedi and make allusions to
who he was, but
they never say. They only call him by Darth Vader.
That's actually pretty neat.
Yeah.
Right, because if you're trying to introduce kids and you want them to be interested with these 1 minute clips so that you can introduce them to the movies later, you don't want to be this is Darth Vader and this is who he's connected with and why. And
he's a super fun guy.
Yeah.
So basically, James Waugh
loves the party.
Yeah.
He loves the party.
James Waugh, who's the VP of Franchise Content and Strategy over at Lucasfilms, basically said, "Over the years, I've had so many friends who are parents tell me how much they really wanted to introduce their kids to Star Wars, but didn't feel that their kids were quite ready for the films yet. So they wanted a way to celebrate the universe they love and introduce it to their kids. So we figured this was a good way to do that, to kind of slowly integrate them into it. They get these little small, for kids that have attention spans, short attention spans, it gives them a quick little clip, and they're really, really well animated. As a matter of fact, that was the only thing I was thinking of, is that when we were watching, I'm like, man, if I were to watch these first and then I were to watch the movie, I would be so disappointed.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's there's the scene with where Luke Skywalker is given the lightsaber the first time, and he turns it on, And so, in the movie, he just turns it on and just kind of stares at it and then kind of waves it around a little bit. And,
so epic in the
that's
cartoon.
In the cartoon, like, he turns it on and, like, his hair blows back and it does, like, this circle pan and he starts, like, doing all these flips and everything in this little animation sequence. And it's just like, holy shit.
What happens when you anime anything, really?
Yeah. Well, what would be the point of making an animation if you're not going to do something cool?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like at the same time, like you said, like, or if you're going to show your kid the movie right after that, they're going to be like, "What is this bullshit?"
Yeah. Also, the clip with Han and Chewie is not actually a scene from the movie, but it uses dialogue from the movie.
It is and it isn't. Yeah, it's just like a edited to be much more comedic version of it.
Yeah, and it's a scene that only has Han and Chewie in it. There's like no other characters.
Okay.
Which I thought was interesting.
I'm cool with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it does a good job.
Maybe they'll make a movie or something about it.
They just use the old audio and just clip it together to make new stories.
I'd watch that.
But yeah, so this is
This is Frankenstein Star Wars.
But yeah, they definitely said they're definitely doing more, and I thought that was really cool. And like I said, when I saw this, immediately thought about our conversation from the other day, so I thought we had to talk about that a little bit, point it out, and just go on YouTube, search for Star Wars Kids, and it'll come right up. And there's like I said, there's about 6 of those. Then they also have like 3 like dossier videos where it's like videos just kind of giving a character rundown of like who this character is.
Yeah, they did Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, and the spaceships. Yeah, they did like the Starfighter, the TIE fighters, and they like go down the list of like, if you're in Naboo, you would use these kinds of starfighters and stuff like that. It's really cool.
Yeah, and then they have the first 2 episodes of the new TV show, the new animated show, Resistance.
Oh yeah.
Okay. They have the first 2 episodes of that, and then I think something else I can't remember.
There's so many kids that don't even know these movies exist, like, period.
Yeah.
I remember when Clone Wars was on, there's a bunch of kids I met, they're like, I love Clone Wars. I'm like, oh, you like the movies? Like, there are movies? I'm like, oh shit, you literally don't know what happens to that character.
Oh, bad news, kid.
He's like, he's my favorite. I'm like, oh boy.
Anakin's the coolest.
He's a warrior for justice all the time. And I'm like, yeah, he is. And he acts better.
No.
Only when he has the high ground.
Exactly.
But yeah, moving on to something a little bit disappointing. This is the first of, I think, 3 Netflix-related news items. The first is that Marvel and Netflix have announced that Daredevil has been canceled after its 3rd season. So it joins the ranks of Iron Fist and Luke Cage. We're not getting any more seasons of Daredevil. There's been a lot of speculation on why this is happening, especially considering the 3rd season of Daredevil was so well reviewed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I mean, everyone admits that the reason Punisher and Jessica Jones haven't been announced as being canceled is because Punisher just finished filming.
They have new seasons
and
coming out.
Jessica Jones is in the middle of filming, or it just started filming.
They won't announce until the new season's released.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, because they don't want people to be like, well, that show's canceled, I'm not going to watch that. They want people to watch it.
Yeah.
But
everyone knows they're going to say it. Like, the
it's
second it's
funny,
done.
yeah,
The
it's kind
Punisher's
of
out. Oh, by the way, it's canceled. I'm like, what?
yeah, it's kind of a foregone conclusion that it's.
They literally have tombstones with the Jessica Jones chiseled on it and are just like, no, don't worry, go ahead and watch the next season.
It's like Back to the Future 3.
Yeah.
I'll watch The Punisher.
Yeah.
I'm sure that'll be good.
So, I mean, again, Netflix has said that this was their decision, not Marvel's, to end the show.
I mean, everybody says, oh, it's because the Disney thing. And while that is
That's part of it.
somewhat true, I think the more important reason is it doesn't make sense for them when there's going to be competing Marvel content on another platform. It doesn't make sense for them to produce content that they have to give a portion of their money that they make
to a competitive
to their competitor.
And on top of that,
literally.
then put something on their service that is doing nothing but advertising another service.
Yeah.
And then also you have to look at it from a point of view of the reason the first seasons of all these were so advantageous for Netflix is that they didn't have any Marvel stuff. So a lot of people who are interested in Marvel signed up for Netflix to get Netflix streaming to watch the Marvel shows, And then they went, okay, let's watch some other stuff, and are watching other shows now. So they have those customers. They're not getting new customers with more seasons of Daredevil or more seasons of Jessica Jones or more seasons of Luke Cage.
Miller World's coming, and so that'll be just their new superhero content or whatever.
Yeah. No, exactly.
I mean, I think it's just better use of their money at this point, is to take the money that they were spending on that and just funnel it into more things that they can own.
And they can't cross over with anything else. Like, what?
You can cross over with the Rob Schneider show.
Well, I mean, there was
but they can't cross over with anything anybody would want to watch.
Exactly.
This is not really something that I have a news item for, but
Rob
the Russo
Schneider
brothers
is a defender.
But the Russo brothers, in an interview, actually, someone asked them, did you at any time consider using the Marvel characters, the Marvel Netflix characters, for the Infinity War movies? And they actually said, when they were setting everything up, they were on the table. They were going to use them. But then when they looked at how many people they'd have to wrangle, it was like, there's too many characters. We've got to start making cuts. And the first place to go is the Netflix shows where they'd have to actually explain who these characters are to people who didn't watch them.
You can only have like 70 or 80 characters in a movie before you just start running out of time.
It's literally just too many cooks, the Marvel version.
That and Mike Coulter, he's not exactly the best actor compared to some of the other guys in the MCU.
Say what you will, the guy that did Daredevil was amazing.
Yeah, he's probably the best actor.
I hope they keep using him. I thought he was great.
Yeah. And Marvel did kind of vaguely say that Daredevil, or they said Nelson and Murdoch will continue. They're not done with them yet. So some people are speculating that just means that those characters are going to pop up in the newest season of Punisher, and then that's it. Some people are thinking that maybe they might resurrect the show in a less R-rated, not so R-rated, maybe PG-13 version of Daredevil on Disney's streaming service, because Disney has actually already come out and said there will be no R-rated content on their streaming service.
They're going to replace that part in season 1 with Kingpin taking out a piñata with the car door instead.
Yeah.
No, there's candy for everyone.
Yeah. So
he's like smash, and then it's like a balloon full of paint. It's all blue or something.
That's funny.
I'd watch that.
Kingpin comes out to attack. He's got some fluffy pillows.
I'm here to hug you, Daredevil. There.
So
we can be friends, Crunch.
Fetch him some tea.
And then before every scene of him where he's all where Matt Murdock is all bloody and beaten, they just show a scene of
delicious.
there's like a superimposed hand holding like a juice box that accidentally squirts.
That's funny.
Or him eating jelly or something, like just the superimposed hand.
They're gonna say everyone who died went to the next dimension, like Dragon Ball Z. It's gonna be amazing.
The home for infinite losers.
Exactly.
Yeah. In other Netflix-related news, so Netflix actually made some announcements regarding the acquisitions of several anime shows that they're going to be presenting both overseas and here in the U.S. The big one, though, that they're talking is they have acquired the rights to stream all of the original Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Oh God!
Which this is actually kind of a big thing, because the rights for Neon Genesis Evangelion have been in kind of a weird limbo ever since ADV Films went bankrupt. So we haven't gotten any DVDs of those, and we haven't got any Blu-rays of those. I think the DVD.
There's one, but it's really expensive, isn't it?
Well, there's a DVD set. The last printing of the DVD set, if you go on eBay, is like $200, $300. The Blu-ray was Japan exclusive.
Oh, that's right.
And it's never been, and it's also subtitled, which I know hardcore anime purists, it's like, it's subbed or nothing, the dub, whatever.
Either way.
Yeah. But they're getting all of Evangelion plus the two original Evangelion movies. I don't know if it includes the new movies as well. I don't think it does.
I doubt it.
But it says the 26 episode run along with Death and Rebirth and the end of Evangelion.
I can't wait for all the newbie anime people to watch this and think it's so goddamn amazing.
Yeah.
And all of the random essays that are going to pop up on Tumblr.
Yeah. Other announcements is they announced an animated Ultraman show that's going to be put on.
They're I want to say, in addition to the neon, because I read this the other day too, I guess Amanda Wynn Lee, who is one of the original American English language voice dub people who's involved in the show, has come out and said that the quote is, "It's not a rumor, I can't tell you how I know, but it's definitely true. They are redubbing."
Oh, okay.
So they're not using the original English dub.
Oh, that's interesting.
Is that a good thing?
I don't know.
It can be, depending on certain sequences.
Yeah.
Because it was around the time where certain dubs just weren't taken as seriously. Even that show.
Yeah, but a lot of people, the show isn't going to be on Netflix until late next year, which could also be why they're taking the time, why it's just not there now, because they're redub it.
Oh, okay.
And plus they're also probably, since Netflix does do a lot of things in 4K now, especially with anime, if they get the original prints or whatnot, it could be a thing where they want the sound to be up to snuff as well, so they're redubbing everything. Be interesting if they got some of the original voice actors, or at least the voice actors for the remake movies.
Oh yeah.
Which a lot of those are some of the same, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, many of them are the same, but the people that they couldn't get back, they just replaced.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Like some anime voice actors from around those time frames went on to do different things. Like for instance, the voice for Domo and Kashu is like a doctor in Canada now.
Yeah. But yeah, but I also think it's really cool that we're also getting an Ultraman animated series. It's like a CGI series.
Yeah, apparently it might be based on, what is that, manga that's going on right now or something like that?
Yes, it's also weird because it's coming out on April 1st.
Yeah, Japan doesn't actually care about April 1st the way we do. Although last year they did actually, or not last year, this year, they did do actual jokes with it.
Yeah.
Like they did a Dragon Ball Super one where everybody was wearing a suit. Kind of thing. They're like, Tournament of Powers, everyone's going to wear a 3-piece suit. I'm like, I watched that. But, most of the time they don't actually give a fuck. They're like, this is going to be released on April 1st. And they're like, I don't care what you think. This is going to happen.
Yeah. And then the final Netflix news, there's still two more news items after this, but the final of the 3 Netflix news items is that, I figure, we talked about how they're getting old anime with Evangelion and new anime with the Ultraman series. They've also struck a deal to make a live-action TV series based on Cowboy Bebop.
I still don't know how to feel about this one, because I really like Cowboy Bebop a lot. But I also feel like Firefly is kind of like that either way.
I'm hopeful, but I saw the Death Note movie.
Yeah, the Death Note movie exists. The Full Metal Alchemist Japanese one exists. Actually, damn near every live-action anime adaptation exists.
I was going to say, name a good live-action anime adaptation.
Rurouni Kenshin.
I hear that one's really good, actually.
There's a trilogy of movies. Yeah.
Wasn't there like an Ace Attorney?
Yeah, but
that's a video game.
Yeah.
You're right.
Plus, I do like that movie a lot, actually.
No, I was actually going to ask if it's good or not because
I like it a lot. I watched it a bunch of times. It's there's no English release here, so you have to watch it subtitled.
Yeah.
But the answer to that question is a very small amount.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That is true. Unless you're talking about like Wolf Guy or something.
People love Dragon Ball Evolution.
But especially because this is a series, it's not even a movie, so that's even more risky, I think.
Well, the thing about it makes it different than a lot of other ones is there's enough realism in it that you could probably get away with it.
Yeah.
Because it's mostly just gunfights. Like there's not that much laser action in
Space
it.
stuff.
Yeah, it's some spaceship stuff and some gunfights.
It's also interesting because it's being according to Variety, it's a 10-episode order, so there's going to be 10 episodes, and it's apparently been in the works since last year. So it's already I don't know if there's any casting yet, but it's definitely been in pre-production for a year. It's being led by Tomorrow Studios and has producers such as Andre Nemec and Josh Applebaum. Who worked on Mission Impossible: Ghost Protocol and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, then the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies, the new ones.
Oh, okay. The Bay ones.
And they're also teaming up with. They're actually bringing on the original creators of Cowboy Bebop, both Sunrise Inc.
Only one of them, though.
Well, also the studio that made it.
Okay, but only one of the 3 originals. So it's not the music person. It's only one of the producer, creator, co-creator, or whatever. And from the reaction I was reading online, it was like the one that the people were least excited about. Yeah.
That's usually what happens with these, though.
Right?
And
they're not going to go out and make anything better.
There's so many actors, though, who would want to do this, though, that they could probably get them for dirt cheap. Like Keanu Reeves talked about this for ages.
Man. I don't even before
well,
I even
he's interested. Now, obviously, he's too old to play Spike at this point. But he could totally play the bad guy, Savage.
Savage.
No, he could play.
Oh wait, yeah, one of the bad guys.
He could play. What's the main bad guy?
I forgot his name, but that would be fucking rad.
Or whatever. The one that's basically Spike but evil.
Yeah.
That would be
final
cool.
episode. Yeah, that would be amazing if you could get him to do that.
I mean, if you only need him for one thing.
Yeah. One episode.
Although that's also assuming that Netflix is gonna stick to the like they could. Is it a recreation of the animated episodes? It's more likely that it's going to be original stories in the same
with those characters,
universe. Like, it's not likely to be a literal translation of those
because they're going to want it to be multiple seasons. They're not going to do one season and done.
They could do short.
This could be really bad, is the thing. It could go either way.
I'm going to be real interested in their casting, though.
Yeah, it's besides casting, it'll come down to whose writing.
Yeah, and music. That's the thing. Yeah. I think it's likely to be a disaster because there's so many things about it that are important.
Yeah,
casting super important. Yeah. Special effects super important.
Yeah.
Well, I will say when it comes to special effects, I'm actually not too worried about that because if you look at, I'm not really worried about the special effects because have you seen Altered Carbon?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it looks great.
Yeah, it looks great. So as long as it's like that level of special effects, they'll be fine.
Yeah. No, I don't think you're not wrong there. But the point is, there's a lot they have to get right.
Yeah.
And that combined with, they have a hard time translating anime.
Yeah,
people. Though I will give the benefit of the doubt, it's the most Western of animes. Yeah. Like it's certainly the most friendly in terms of like.
Well, I think it's like the most popular anime, but it's not Dragon Ball Z and Naruto.
It's what they say, right? Like Cowboy Bebop is
stylish though compared to most other shows.
Yeah. It's anime for people who don't like anime.
Yeah,
like, it's the one everybody likes.
Yeah, it's like that and like Trigun. Trigun is probably the closest.
And Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah,
the Ghost in the Shell is very popular for a while. Like there's. Besides Tsunami, Adult Swim brought a lot of these shows to the forefront.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Adult Swim, and speaking of, us turning anime into live action, Adult Swim is teaming up with Crunchyroll to do the exact opposite, and they're going to make a Blade Runner anime. They have teamed up with Alcon Television Group, a division of Alcon Entertainment, to produce and distribute a new anime series based on Blade Runner Black Lotus, which I don't know if any of you have seen this.
I'm glad you caught that. You said Blade Runner.
No, you did,
but I wasn't going to say anything.
Well, that's the difference between you and I.
It's the anime version of that. So maybe they did call it Blade Runner.
Yeah, sorry. So
it's got Harrison Blord.
Yeah.
It's the only one they could afford.
So did you see Blade Runner Black Lotus? It was a short animated thing. I think it was like 30 minutes long. It was released right before Blade Runner 2049.
Are you talking about the 3 shorts and one of them was animated? They did 3 short films before 2049 came out. Yeah. One of them had Batista and was live action.
Yeah.
And then another one had something else and was live action. Yeah. And then I think what's his name, the Joker guy.
That was called Black Lotus.
And then there was a third short that was animated.
Yeah, that was Black Lotus.
Yeah, the animation was Black Lotus.
It was. So it's inspired by that Blade Runner 2049 and Blade Runner Black Lotus. It'll be 13 30-minute episodes produced by animation studio Sola Digital Arts, who apparently are also doing the Ultraman show.
Oh, interesting.
Shinji Aramaki, who is famous for Appleseed, and Kenji Kamiyama, who did Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex, will direct all episodes of the premiere season. Shinichiro Watanabe, who has created Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo, is there as a creative producer. I think he also, if I'm not mistaken, Watanabe was also the director of the Black Lotus, or had something to do with Black Lotus.
I wouldn't be surprised. It would explain why he's on there. He only works on things that he's really interested in.
Yeah, so there's not really much information about the plot. It's being kept very under wraps, but it will take place in the year 2032, and will include some familiar characters from the Blade Runner universe. So it will take place before 2049.
And Alex DeCampi, the comic book person, is working on it.
Ooh.
Okay.
This could go pretty well because it's not like the Animatrix where that was just a series of shorts. Or,
Though I like the Animatrix.
It's not bad. It's just that like it's not really a plot per se.
Yeah.
There's some plot in it, but not all that much. Like there's a lot of backstory stuff, but
it's like the World War Z of
it's
the
also
Matrix.
not like Gotham Knight as well. If you remember when that came out.
Yeah.
Because it's just an actual going to be a full plot. So
Yeah, and it's going to be
interesting.
Yeah, I'm totally on board.
And
I'm
if
intrigued.
And if it sucks, that's fine. The movies are still there.
Right.
Yeah. I
Harrison
still have
Ford
yet to
will be
watch. I still have yet to watch 2049.
It's such a mistake.
I have
The
it on
movie's
Blu-ray.
So good.
I got it for my birthday.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
like Blade Runner is one of my top 5 favorite movies, and I won't say that the new one is. I won't say that I like it more. I think it's a better film.
That's it.
I have an emotional, nostalgic attachment to the original,
Yeah.
so I like it more. I think the argument can be made that the newer one is a better movie.
Now, if I haven't seen the original in a long time, should I double feature it?
I mean, it wouldn't hurt.
Yeah.
But also, it's not 100% necessary. Like, it wouldn't do any harm, but as long as you vaguely know the plot
Yeah.
of the first movie.
I haven't seen
you're
it
fine.
since college. But I don't want to talk about how long ago that was. It was so long ago.
The Harrison Ford stuff, it's not like steeped in the steeped in the plot of the first movie.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I completely messed up something. The new show is called Blade Runner Black Lotus.
Right.
The original short was Blade Runner Blackout 2022.
Oh, okay.
So that would, I'm sorry, that's my bad. And, yeah, so
Half
it's
of our listeners were screaming at you. a
yeah,
minute ago
probably.
right now.
I'm sure they're, but yeah,
Yeah, both of them are real mad.
They were super pissed.
2 people were really
One
upset.
of them stopped
Super
listening entirely.
Yeah.
First Board
He
Runner
threw
and then this.
he threw a Zune straight across the room. Just straight across
His
the room.
Halo
He
3
was
Zunes.
so mad.
Those things were awesome, by the way. The Halo 3 one came with the music on it.
Yeah.
Cousin had one.
I still
Watch
have my
Dragon Ball.
I loved
on
my
it.
Zune.
I still have my Zoom.
Everyone who's had a Zune liked their Zune.
Yeah.
And then that's the end of it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
that
that's
really
the
is.
end of that story.
Yeah, no,
That's all I have to say about that.
There's a great Zune joke in Chuck's though. It's like I put my music on my Zune. You have a Zune? No, I have an iPod like the rest of the world.
Yeah, but so finally, the other, everyone's been talking about the new upcoming Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse animated movie. It's been getting a lot of really good reviews.
I'm super excited.
Hyped.
I know you tend to go to screenings. Have you gone to a screening for that? Or?
It's on this. It's this upcoming Saturday.
Oh, okay,
In
okay.
the morning, like 10 in the morning.
Okay, yeah, I know.
I'm excited as fuck because it's the first screening I've been able to do since my new job.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, everyone's been saying it's really good. Like, there are people like, look, I know, like, what was I'm trying to think of what the someone on Twitter said. I know as reviewers, we tend to overhype things, and we need to be responsible and actually tell the truth and give an honest opinion and not overhype things. So I'm going to not overhype this movie. This is possibly the greatest superhero movie that was ever made.
Perfect.
That makes me so goddamn excited though.
But
Every single one of those characters.
Apparently Sony's really excited about it because they've already announced a spin-off movie that is going to be an all-female Spider-Verse movie. The
Spiders 8?
Yeah, well, yeah. It's going to be...
I just got that.
So, according to The Hollywood Reporter...
Sandra Bullock's in fucking everything.
Yeah.
That would be so boring,
Joaquim Dos Santos and Lauren Montgomery, who are the showrunners behind Voltron Legendary Defender, are to expand the animated corner of the Spider world. And according to The Hollywood Reporter, Dos Santos is in early talks to direct the sequel to Into the Spider-Verse, which will be penned by Wonder Woman 1984's Dave Callaham. Although as of yet there are no details about what the sequel will pertain to,
Girl stuff, you know how it is.
whether it will still be Miles Morales or the Ultimate Spider-Man or wilder concept with multiple heroes across the generations. However, Montgomery will be heading off the spin-off that'll be based around Gwen Stacy, and this movie will, like Spider-Verse, include multiple spider heroes. This time they'll be all female. Nothing's been confirmed yet, but The Hollywood Reporter suggests that it'll be Madam Web, Spider-Woman, possibly Jessica Drew, though the rumor they heard could just be referring to Spider-Gwen as
Spider-Woman.
Spider-Woman, because apparently she is referred to as Spider-Woman.
Spider-Ghost?
I saw
a T-shirt at Target and it said Spider-Ghost.
Yeah,
It's
well,
Ghost
in
Spider,
her
Ghost
introduction,
Spider.
she was Spider-Woman, and then once they started her own series, I believe they switched her over to Spider-Ghost.
Well, recently
there's too many Spider-Women.
She's on a
confusing
TV
at all.
show.
Yeah,
That's why they added that name.
Yeah. But yeah, she's called the Ghost Spider.
I mean, I would see that movie. I want my multiple universe Squirrel Girl.
I will
movie.
see that movie if the Spider Bitch is in it.
Yeah, but Spider-Girl is also going to be a character in it, though that could be any one of like 12 different Spider-Girl characters.
That's the problem with the Spider ladies.
Finally, Silk.
I love Silk, though. Silk was the best goddamn thing to come out of Original Sin, because Original Sin was boring.
Yeah, I love Silk.
Yeah, and apparently Silk is also rumored to be getting her own film, so this may just be a setup to introduce the character to a wider audience, so that when they do that, her own live-action film based on Silk, that...
The thing is, I'm okay with this, because Sony finally realized that they're terrible at making live-action Spider-Man movies, and decided to give their animation department, hey, what would happen if we, made a superhero movie that was animated?
Yeah.
Like, since Big Hero 6, I've been like, why don't you guys just do that with your other heroes? Like, Disney, you have all of these other fucking people. Like, you could do this pretty fucking easily right now. And then Sony was like, yeah, why don't we do that? And they fucking made a Spider-Man film that I'm really excited about.
Yeah, a lot of people are really excited about it.
Dude, my kid is so stoked for that movie.
Oh my god, the toys for it are amazing.
It's the most excited I've ever seen my son for any sort of, like, thing that he knows is coming out, like a movie or whatever. Like, crazy excited for it.
A grown Peter Parker is the most I've ever been.
Really?
Yeah, because
because they keep him in that
he's always like a teenager and everything now.
What are you talking about? Tobey Maguire was like 40.
But that was like 14 years ago.
But he was still in high school.
He was 40 years old. He was not smart. He was 40 years old.
He was smarter than Andrew Garfield was. Andrew Garfield didn't know how electricity works.
Who admittedly was only 35.
Yeah.
We've had one teenage Spider-Man in 20 years. What are you talking about?
We've done, storyline-wise, we've had 3 of them. But the issue is that, like, every animated thing, it's always, like, a teenager.
Yeah, they always want that,
every fucking game, it's, like, a teenager. Except for this new one, he's, like, 24.
Just why this new one's...
Yeah.
Like that. This one, like, he seems like he's in his 30s.
They're
I'm really interested to see
I just like the idea that they're like, you know what, let's just get past the origin. We don't need the origin.
Well, you're getting an origin.
You're getting Miles.
But I'm just saying, for Peter, we don't need his origin. Everyone knows that Peter Parker's Spider-Man. Let's do this thing where Miles is... Well, let's tell Miles' origin.
I love that trailer where he's just like, yeah, you guys know who the fuck I am kind of thing. He's like, and then it has this like montage of stuff that's like stuff from the Tobey Maguire films.
There's some of that, but I want the Christmas album.
Oh yeah,
because they're all Christmas songs but renamed with Spider. Like if you actually pause it, like I forget some of them, but they're freaking hilarious.
I'm so excited. Jake Johnson as
I'm excited about that. I'm super excited about John Mulaney, who's like maybe my favorite comedian right now.
As Spider-Ham.
Such a great, so great. I want a Spider-Ham movie yesterday.
Yeah.
I want.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
All I want is a Spider-Ham.
Rumor has it though Noir wasn't supposed to be Nicolas Cage originally, but no one knows who it was supposed to be originally.
I'm fine with Cage.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that.
I'm not mad. I'm just really curious because
he was great. He was great in Teen Titans.
Oh yeah, he's fantastic. I laughed so fucking hard.
Who was he in Teen Titans?
He's Superman.
Oh, that's right. Oh my god, I totally
You gotta save us from Gene Hackman's real estate scheme.
Yeah, he was great.
That movie's so fucking funny. I love that movie.
Still haven't seen it.
Yeah, still haven't seen it. I keep seeing clips of it online, but I haven't.
Really good.
As a comic book nerd, it's one of the funniest goddamn movies I've seen in my life.
It's razor sharp, and I think I said this on another episode, like my favorite Stan Lee cameo of all time.
Oh, it's great. Yeah. He's really funny in that part too. Yeah. And they have a Challengers in the Unknown joke too. It's great. It's fucking funny.
So good.
It's such a goddamn funny movie.
I seriously don't leave here without borrowing it. I will let you borrow it.
Okay.
It's really good.
I laughed so hard in the theater.
Anyway, sorry.
No,
we derailed there because that was pretty funny.
It's so good. Everyone who's listening to it, watch it. Please.
Derailing is a...
That's his nickname. It's Michael's nickname.
Michael Derailing.
Or Michael Tangent.
Yeah.
Real
Tangent rails. Rail tangents.
Wait, is that all the news then?
That is all the news. So this week we're going to be giving our listeners a bit of a gift guide, like ideas for the holidays, because I figure, usually we kind of unintentionally in the past, when we did this 4 or 5 years ago, we would do it closer to Christmas, and it dawned on me this year, why would we wait closer to Christmas? You do it early so that people have time to go buy these damn things.
Yes,
and you want situations like Jingle All the Way where they have to fight giant Santas for Spanish dolls versions.
But true. I hear that.
But I'm assuming everyone here has got their lists, their ideas.
Sure.
At least.
I have 4 items at
I wasn't
best.
watching Netflix all day and didn't think about that.
I was playing Red Dead all day, so it's not a big deal.
No, I actually got a few.
Okay, so I guess for the holidays, we want to kind of go by different categories, I guess, or different recommendations. I mean, obviously, there's 4 of us here. There's going to be a lot of stuff to talk about. Yeah. Obviously, if one of us doesn't have a recommendation for a category, I know that there's at least 1 or 2 that I won't, because I just couldn't. But hopefully, people have recommendations for categories that.
Hopefully we didn't all skip
I don't. Hopefully I don't go, because I didn't check with anybody to see what they have. I don't go. So what does anyone think for this category?
Well, right.
Silence and
you could
crickets.
do that. Yeah, I'm cool. I might have an answer for most of them.
But I figure let's start with the big one: comic books.
Yeah.
What is the thing to get this season for the comic book lover?
I think for the Superman fan, all of the Rebirth Superman stuff was really solid, and so there's a lot of great graphic novels out for that currently. Let's read, especially because of this whole great new family dynamic that they gave Superman that I really enjoyed.
Me too.
As well as every damn Ghostbusters comic you can find.
Yeah,
it adds everything to this mythology.
Get the hardcovers, because man, those things are nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
And IDW is awesome for keeping those in print. Because you can still go out and buy volumes 1 and 2, and I think 3 just came out earlier this year.
There's quite a few, and then they keep continuing the story and all these other side stories, and even their crossovers are canon within their storyline.
Yeah,
which I love to death.
Yeah.
There's a real Ghostbusters. There's 2 real Ghostbusters.
Well, yeah. So
ones.
the
Turtle ones are great too.
Yeah. So there's volume 1 and volume 2, which are kind of self-contained. Then there's the crossover, a hardcover of the crossover for Ninja Turtles Ghostbusters, which leads into volume 3, which picks up with the crossover for real Ghostbusters, and then also does the crossing the call, or answer the call, where they cross over with the female Ghostbuster universe. And
there's so many. They just wrapped up Crossing Over. Was the name of it, which I really enjoyed too. Mass Hysteria was the last normal storyline they had before they were forced to only have these weird kind of just different named ones instead of volumes. But they're all really, really good if you're a huge fan of Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Like I said, buy the 3 hardcovers, I would recommend for that.
It's so fucking good.
Yeah. And the reason I was actually making the comment of that they're awesome for keeping those in print. While I'm not going to recommend the hardcovers for this, I would definitely recommend, if you have even an inkling, a small curiosity about Power Rangers, the current Boom Studio books are phenomenal. Both Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and Go-Go Power Rangers, they're great. If you wanted hardcovers, good luck finding the first volume, because it literally went out of print 2 days after it came out.
Jesus.
And I think volume 2 just came out and is already out of print. So it's good luck finding those. But the floppy collections, the standard paperback ones, those are available, and they are great, and they should be read, because it's probably the best thing that Boom Studios is putting out.
It's so good. They did a Justice League Mighty Morphin crossover not that long ago too that I also really enjoyed.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. They fought Brainiac and Lord
I think I'm going to buy that and read that to my kid.
Yeah, the Pink Ranger, I guess, used the boxing glove arrow, and it's so fucking funny. Because at the end of the story, she's like, can I keep it? And he's like, really?
I think Batman's like, yeah, sure, whatever.
It's like, we don't care. It's not even mine.
Yeah, it's an arrow.
But yeah, no,
the boxing glove attached to it.
Yeah, that one's a lot of fun.
It was so much fun.
But before I go, any other recommendations for comics? Anyone got anything else that they
Yeah, I have two. I would definitely recommend everybody, if you haven't read it, you can get the Ed. I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Piskor?
Piskor? Okay, sure. I wasn't 100% sure. The X-Men Grand Design, you can get both the first one and this one. The newest one is Second Genesis. They're only like $14-15.
Yeah.
They're treasury size. They're oversized. They're very thick. Are you familiar with these?
I
folks?
am. Okay, I am. I have been buying them in the single issue format.
So this is two regular issues put together in a big treasury size. So there's only two of these. They're both in stock on Amazon. You can buy them both for $15 or so.
Yeah.
And it's Grand Design Volume 1 and Volume 2, and it is the retelling of the X-Men. It's
from
their
the beginning.
Entire history from the beginning, told as one giant cohesive story, same artist, same writer, same guy.
He is changing some things of the, like he is making
streamlines?
small alterations and cutting certain stuff out to make it streamlined, to make it all fit together. Because when you're dealing with,
because it's a mess.
X-Men.
However many years, what is it, like 50 years or whatever of continuity?
Yeah.
A good way to confuse a person who's never read a comic is to explain either Cable or young Cyclops now.
Yeah.
Like at any point, because Cable's just like, this is Cyclops'
Young
son
Cyclops is a little easier.
with
You
the
can just
clone.
say time-traveling Cyclops. Although, once you do try to wrap your head around, well, wait a minute, isn't he kind of from the 60s?
It's the explanation for because it's like, I'm Cyclops from the past who was brought to the future because my older version was kind of going off the wire. Now he's dead and now I'm stuck here. And you say that to somebody and they're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
X-Men.
And Cable's just like, yeah, he's the son of Cyclops and a clone of Jean Grey.
Although I would say these days, those people are probably like,
something.
you just say, it's kind of like the movies. It doesn't all make sense.
Yeah.
And they're, okay.
X-Men has the most convoluted timeline of anything I've ever
Yeah,
seen.
it really, really does.
For anyone who is not familiar with the creator of this book, he is most well known for a series called Hip Hop Family Tree, which literally tells in kind of a similar style to this, but the real world history of hip hop as a music form, which I know Amanda's read that.
Yeah, which I loved.
Yeah. So
it's fantastically written. It's super fun. If you're not a fan, you learn a ton about the X-Men. If you are a fan, it's so cool the way he puts it all together. It's a win-win. And the oversized Treasury editions it's got a nice thick cover on it, so it's not like those other Treasury editions which are kind of flimsy and you feel like are going to fall apart.
Yeah.
It's just a really well done book.
Yeah, it's actually the same format they used to print Hip Hop Family Tree, which is
it's got that vinyl
great.
cover. It's really good.
It's really nice.
And then I will say my second recommendation, guys, you can get this on Amazon. It is in stock. Batman by Grant Morrison, Volume 1, The Omnibus.
Oh.
It is, now you can pre-order Volume 2 if you are so inclined. It is 672 pages. This is a thick omnibus. This is phone book size. And the biggest reason, obviously everybody loves Batman, the Grant Morrison run is really, I think, very good, and I'm not a huge Morrison guy. But the real big reason to recommend this is right now on Amazon Prime, it is $33.
Oh.
It is crazy underpriced.
Jesus
I mean,
Christ.
this is genuinely a $125, $100 book.
Yeah, for sure.
And it is $33. You'd be remiss not to jump online and order it immediately. It's a steal. At double the price, it's a steal.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how people feel about, I know with Morrison, and particularly me, I'm very up and down on Morrison.
You don't
sometimes I love him, sometimes
Scottish
I don't.
Mystics? You're just not a fan?
I'm not always a huge fan of him.
Well,
But his run on Batman is pretty solid.
Yeah.
It's pretty solid up until certain chunks of it, but other than that, it's still pretty solid.
Volume 1's pretty good.
Yeah.
Volume 1's pretty good. And those are my only two comic recommendations, but I feel pretty solid about $33 for that hardcover is pretty amazing. Anyway.
There's a comic recently that I think is really, really good that I know you bought recently, which is The Immortal Hulk. Which is
I didn't read
so
that.
Immortal Hulk.
fucking good.
Yeah, it is.
And I actually recommend it as a gift to somebody because it's still fairly early on, and you
Who's writing it?
I'm not sure, but it's fucking
I can't
dark.
think of it's Ewing.
Okay.
I can't think of it.
It's
but
the premise of it is so interesting.
Yeah, the premise of it is Hulk as a horror story because the original
Sure.
Stan Lee, Jack Kirby. right?
Sure. I want to say yes.
Yeah. The story was told as kind of a Jekyll Hyde horror story.
Yeah.
Ewing? Al Ewing?
Yeah, Al Ewing.
Okay.
And it's just been so good. And
it's whoever's drawing it, they get some really great grotesque transformations in between, like Hulk and Banner, and it's just wow.
Yeah, and it actually deals with the fact that because there have been many instances over the course of the entire run of the Hulk where the Hulk or Bruce Banner has died and then come back, and it deals with that, and it actually it comes right out and says, yeah, it happened. This is why it got undone, or this is why how it came back, or whatnot.
Like, there's such a great thing, because not only is it just like, oh, the Hulk's around, it's the way he's just like, the day belongs to me, but the night belongs to him.
Yeah, like they've gone back to the thing that when it becomes nighttime, he becomes the Hulk, and by day he's Bruce Banner.
And Banner gets some really horrific shit happen to him.
The reason you were confused on that is Kirby did do the first 5 issues, but did go pencil. And
that's right.
Inked the 6th.
Yeah,
so.
But some horrific shit happens to Banner.
Yeah.
And both Hulk. And it's so crazy.
And I just love the title of the first volume, which is "Or Is He Both," which is a reference to the cover of the first issue, which said the Hulk is he a man or a monster, or is he both? And it's just so good.
It's so fucking good.
Yeah, it's treated like a horror story. Like, it is like Hulk is a horror monster, but also Hulk is smart, but he's not doing evil things.
Yeah,
he's just. It's
he's not being evil. He's just being. He's
just this guy,
He's going around and shit happens to him, and he gets pissed off about certain things.
You poke the bear, man.
And there's this whole subplot where Banner talks about how he's still smart, but he's not as smart as he was. But Hulk is definitely smarter.
It's so fascinating what they're doing with it. Like, every time, like, even like the newest issue is just as horrifying with some of the art that happens later on.
Yeah.
And other heroes have, like, he meets other heroes and everything the same way, and it's like, God fucking damn.
Yeah.
I can't recommend it enough, to be honest. Like, especially since it's out, like, it's still going on right now. I think it would be great to introduce somebody with that.
It's a good horror fan or a Hulk fan that wants to see a new take.
Or both.
Yeah.
Or is he both?
Oh, I got no. I'm so behind in comic books that, like, everything I'm reading is years behind.
Oh, Spider-Man's new stuff, Dan Slott's finishing stuff, I think is great. I don't know if they're out yet. The graphic novels for the fuck is it called? It's the final Dan Slott story with the Red Goblin.
Oh, I don't know.
I fucking love.
There's a Red Goblin. I'm so.
I can go into it, but it's gonna be a while.
Do not go into it.
Long story short, it's the Carnage symbiote.
Oh, that makes sense.
With the Green Goblin, so it's actually really fucking cool. Like, it sounds 90s as hell, but it's actually really cool.
Oh, it sounds really 90s.
Okay. Yeah, it's very right.
Sounds very
the only other thing I do want to recommend as far as comic goes would be because I'm a wrestling guy. I like wrestling.
You like wrestling?
Yeah.
What?
Crazy.
It's fake.
How did I not know this?
There's a book called The Comic Book Story of Professional Wrestling, a hardcore, high-flying, no-holds-barred history of the one true sport. It is available on Amazon. You can get it for...
Good thing it's a short title, otherwise that'd be really annoying.
Yeah. It's just the comic book story of professional wrestling.
I know.
But
That's still a lot.
Yeah.
On Amazon right now, it's about $11.50, which is a pretty good price for it. Normally, it's like $18.99. It's being written by Aubrey Sitterson, who he's written stuff like G.I. Joe, and I know he did a community manager for the WWE 2K games for a brief moment. I know he worked in video games for a while, but now he's like doing comics. And then it's drawn by Chris Marino. And it's the thing about this book, and the reason I recommend it, is not just because I'm a wrestling fan, but this is kind of someone who maybe is not into wrestling, but just kind of wondering what it's all about. It's you get it, you read it, and it flows, it looks great, there's great, I mean, you come out feeling like, oh, I understand what wrestling is now when you get done reading it. If you're a fan, you're reading it, you might find out some stuff you didn't know. You might find out some stuff, you might reaffirm some stuff you thought you knew. But I feel like anyone can read this and get an understanding of how professional wrestling got to its early roots as the carnival, in carnivals, strongman's, whatever, to what it is now. And it's not a very big book. It's not a very long book, but it goes over a huge history and succinctly and clearly, and it has amazing art in it. Chris Marino literally just knocks it out of the park, in my opinion. But it's great. I can't recommend it enough.
That sounds really, really interesting.
Yeah, and I even feel like there are people who maybe they don't like wrestling who could read this and actually come out with an appreciation.
Yeah. It's called. I just remember the name of the story. It's called Go Down Swinging. What's the name of that Spider-Man story?
Yeah.
This whole time I've been thinking of alternate titles for this book, and I think it should be Wrestling.
Right?
The comic.
Perfect.
Should have
Nailed
that.
it.
Should have a picture.
I feel like there is actually a comic called Wrestling.
I'd be surprised. It should have that picture of that dude who's like, "It's real to me," just crying.
Oh, God.
Should be immortalized.
But it even talks about that stuff. I think actually that guy is actually depicted in like a panel.
Yeah, he's the quintessential like Mark fan.
Like the thing is, I'm not giving him shit per se. Like it's great. Like I love the fact that people are that passionate about it. I used to really love wrestling when I was younger, and I stopped watching when Shawn Michaels first retired. And then I didn't realize he came back, and then I didn't go back.
Which means you stopped watching when I was still old.
Yeah. Well, he also retired a second time and then came back again.
He came back recently.
It's true,
but
it is
I think
wrestling.
he's back at retired.
Yeah. He cut his hair. So.
Yeah, he's bald.
Shaved, because he was balding.
Shaved
and
his
nothing's
head
more
bald.
embarrassing than
It
a
made me
balding
very
wrestler
sad.
trying to.
Yeah.
I Hulk Hogan and his fake hair bandana. Nobody wants to talk about.
Look, I'm
But
just
I
gonna.
wanna talk about
My
it.
only comment about wrestling would be that I watched a couple of clips of Jake the Snake Roberts on
The
Joe
Joe
Rogan
Rogan.
show.
Oh, I
recently.
watched that.
And it made me realize, because I've seen other wrestlers of that era.
Yeah.
Not all wrestlers age the same. Not all wrestlers.
I actually met
age
him
the
in San
same.
Antonio at a convention. It was real nice.
He
Jake?
seemed like a very nice guy. He reminds me of one of my uncles. It's very weird.
Jake is an obscenely sad person.
Yeah, he was nice enough because I talked to him for a little bit. I forgot what I talked to him about. It was years ago.
Yeah.
You know, that's probably
okay. He probably forgot.
That's probably true of a lot of mid-tier wrestlers.
It was also true with Brian Posehn because he was high as fuck at the same time when I met
yeah.
him there too. He reeked of weed. He was writing Deadpool at the time.
Oh,
and I was like, I really like her, and he's just like, what's going on? Like he was just I was for bloodshot as fuck.
Oh my gosh.
Bruce LaMarche was real
You
nice.
should have brought him food.
I should have.
You brought him Whataburger, he would have remembered you.
Yeah. Or he just would have ate the water.
He would have rememred the food.
Yeah, he would have been like, some guy
brought this to me.
I think he was wearing a Spider-Man hoodie.
I was wearing my Ghostbusters outfit at the time because I got to see a long
I think Dan
conversation.
Aykroyd gave it to me.
Dan Aykroyd gave me some Whataburger, bro.
Yeah,
I don't even think he was scheduled to be there. It was weird.
He just showed up.
And he didn't give me any Skull vodka. It was strange. He normally always gives me Skull vodka.
every time. Just the Skull vodka.
But the next category.
Yes.
Books. Like actual legit books, not comic books, but
Real
books,
books,
novels.
Not your bullshit.
Like a genuine book.
Yeah, stuff
you
that I
like-
don't read.
If you like
So I
the
don't have a
Dexter,
recommendation for
Read
this.
books.
If-
I have two. I have a nonfiction. I technically have three if you count like an art book. So I have a couple.
I do indeed.
There's one series that I do recommend greatly, especially if people are fans of the TV show that it was based that this is originally was. Dexter. The Dexter books are really good. There's 8 in all.
The actual original Dexter.
The original
books.
Dexter books,
Yeah.
because the show is only based on like the first season, and after that does what the fuck it wants. Although the first book ends completely differently. But yeah, there's 8 of them. They're all really good. There's some I forgot to mention this. I guess I'll mention it in tandem with them. There are some comics that he made with Marvel based on them as well that you could also probably buy with them, so you can have like this whole thing. Dexter in the books isn't like super methodical compared to the TV show one as much. Like he makes mistakes a lot, but there's a lot more interesting stuff going on with it compared to the TV show, I think, in my opinion. I do recommend that series a lot, though.
Okay.
So my only fiction book recommendation I've got right here actually is by Anthony Horowitz. It's a mystery. It's a spy novel. It's a James Bond novel. It's called Forever and a Day, and it is a prequel book. It's prequel to Casino Royale. It is the quote-unquote canon written version of the origin of James Bond as a 007 agent. And the interesting part is it does have original material from Ian Fleming. So what they did was they found some original stuff that they culled and used in this book. So it's based on some things that Ian Fleming wrote. And the author is a pretty well-known, he's written other books, obviously. He did a Sherlock Holmes novel, Moriarty. And he's the guy who did the Alex Rider series, the young adult series. And he's also written for television. He wrote Midsummer Murders, some episodes of that, and Foyle's War on PBS. So yeah, he's a pretty well-regarded writer. I don't know about the Alex Rider young adult stuff.
Sounds familiar, but
the Midsummer Murders and Foyle's War are both good British mystery book shows.
Yeah. I was going to say it sounded very much like he's a very specific genre.
I would just say it's new 007, but it's actually very, very good. So I've read it. It's good. It does feel like an older James Bond book, which I really liked. So
that's good.
Yeah, very cool.
As far as fiction, the only fiction book I'm going to recommend, and it's not because it's a new book, but because Netflix has optioned it to be a movie or series, going back to Sandra Bullock being in everything.
She's America's sweetheart.
Right? She still is. I love her. Bird Box by Josh Malerman is a horror novel where all of a sudden the world is kind of plagued with these creatures that if you see them, you kill yourself, you kill everyone around you. There's this mass panic and hysteria of people just kind of slaughtering each other. And
so it's a comedy.
It's a delight. But it's about a woman who who's pregnant, who goes to this almost like a commune of people trying to survive, and there's a lot of it's like A Quiet Place.
Sure.
But no sight. I don't know how they're going to do it in a visual format, like on Netflix. So I highly recommend reading the book before you get to that point, because there's a good chance they're going to mess it all up.
It's going to be Ben Affleck Daredevil vision. It'll be great.
I mean, but so you can't see anything, and they never describe the monsters because nobody sees
the monster's just going to be played by Ben Affleck.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Or Matt Damon, depending on who
are you kidding me? If they're going to make anybody a monster you can't see, it's just going to be John Cena. I'd like to apologize for that joke.
I would have made that joke if I had thought of it first.
But yeah, so I greatly enjoyed it. It's a really quick, easy read. It came out in like 2015, 2016, something like that. But since it's coming out soon, it'd be a great thing to get somebody before, so they can be the a-hole that said they read it before it came out.
Yeah.
And the book was only so much better.
Yeah. Which I fully intend on being if they screw up. I'm pretty sure it's a
I always love that the Scott Pilgrim movie has like one of the characters in the middle of the movie. Of course the book is better than the movie, like just in the middle of it.
Nonfiction, very quickly. I won't spend too much time on this. How to Invent Everything. It's a survival guide for the stranded time traveler. It's by Ryan North. This book it's mind-blowing. The conceit is, and I got this recommendation from XKCD. Randall Monroe has a blurb about it, and that's what made me decide to buy it. The conceit is, what would you do if a time machine hurled you thousands of years into the past and then broke? How would you survive? How hard would it be to do the things that you know you want to do? So it tells you basically the process of inventing anything, like paper. From tree to paper. How do you do it? Like penicillin. How do you do it? Like clean water. How do you do it? Like it's and it does, airplanes and just all these, it's this crazy hodgepodge of here are things that you would need. Like realistically, how do you invent these things? Yeah. And it's fascinating. Like it's just genuinely, if you're into that sort of stuff, it's just genuinely super crazy interesting.
I kind of want to see a movie made based on this book.
It's just Back to the Future 3.
Yeah.
Well, it's just done in like a Hitchhiker's Guide style thing, where some guy gets trapped back in prehistoric times before man has been, evolved or whatnot, and then he pulls out a book and it's this book or whatever.
That'd be cool with that.
And it's him trying to figure out how to survive.
It's pretty cool. I dig it a lot.
It does remind me though of Back to the Future 3 because there's that whole thing where Doc has that giant fucking machine and
Makes
it's like
an ice
purely
cube.
for ice cube. Ice cube.
Fair enough.
It's like I'm not missing out on.
John, do you have a book?
I do not.
All right, well then, do you have another one?
I have one for
Please.
nonfiction, which is just True Indie Life and Death in Filmmaking by Don Cascarelli, who's the director of Phantasm. He's the director of Bubba Hotep. He did John Dies at the End. He's just a really interesting filmmaker, and I'm a huge fan of his. I haven't read this book yet, but it's top of my list of what I want because he's had such a great history in film. Like he got an office on the Universal lot when he was still a teenager, so it's just a really weird history in indie filmmaking because he went in a path that like opposite of Robert.
It's an autobiography kind of a thing.
Yeah, probably something similar to what like Robert Rodriguez or
sure. Which is that book's awesome.
Bruce, Rebel Without a Crew, or Bruce Campbell's If Chins Could Talk, Kill.
Chins Could Kill.
That same idea where it's like an autobiography through their career more than anything else, just told through their stories of filmmaking. But he started so young. But so that's
I just thought of another book actually. The book of The Disaster Artist. The actual book.
Oh sure, the story that the movie's based on.
Yeah, because not based on, but it's the actual movie. Yeah, there's so many things that are in it that are not in the movie that are really fucking either funny or somewhat terrifyingly funny because of it. One of the best examples is that the guy who plays Mark, his mom is French, and so they were thinking that maybe Tommy Wiseau is like, well, maybe that's his accent. And his mom meets him, and she's like, "There's no fucking way that dude is from Louisiana."
Oh, really?
It's like that is not a French, like even close to anything like that. Like just shit like that, and it just adds more to the mystery of what the fuck is Tommy Wiseau.
Who the hell is Tommy Wiseau?
It's really, really fascinating.
And for nerds, Dungeons and Dragons: Art and Arcana, a Visual History.
Ooh.
It's about a $35 book. It is phenomenal. It's the history of D&D from the very beginning all the way up through 5th ed, and it's got just different sections and it's got advertisements, it's got maps, fold-out maps. It's this fantastic book that just tells you the history of D&D video games and how it was designed and how it was developed. And one of the things, the best example of something I really love, and I'm going to try to find it here real quick, is so they'll pick at different points throughout the book. They'll pick a thing like this is Lolth, the Dark Queen of the Underdark or whatever, and it's all the different art versions from 1978 all the way through 2008, I believe. Maybe it's only through 4th ed, but it's all the different incarnations of the same character throughout the monster manual or the books and how they're depicted, and you kind of see the evolution of each character, like the one with the Beholder and one with Frost Giants, and it just gives you kind of a quick idea of how cool it is. It's crazy extensive on all the different things that it includes in here, including the D&D cartoon, including all the design work, it's just this really, if you're a D&D nerd at all, it's super fascinating. And I cannot recommend it enough.
How much is this book normally?
$35.
That's not
bad. You can get it at Target.
$35. Yeah, you can get this at Target. You can get it at Barnes & Noble. You can get it pretty much anywhere books are sold.
I was
pretty
flipping
widely
through it at
available.
Target the other day. Like, it looks really cool.
But there was another book we saw too. It was like the Nintendo's art book.
Yeah, it was like a Nintendo history of...
The only thing I'll tell you is don't be confused. There are two different covers. It's the same art, but one is red and one is black.
Yeah.
It's the exact same book.
Yeah.
They just, for whatever reason, it might be where it's being sold, perhaps.
I think
but
so,
for whatever reason, there's different colors, red or black, but the actual inside of the book is exactly the same. That's all I have for books.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything else that I would basically suggest to get, but let's move on to the next category.
Yay.
DVDs and Blu-rays. Like, what would you suggest to get as a gift? I think the big one for me that I can suggest would be the Batman Animated Series Complete Blu-ray Collection.
Absolutely.
There's no other recommendation that is even worth mentioning. Like, if you're buying one gift that is a DVD or Blu-ray, and it is not Batman the Animated Series, you are a fool.
Fraggle Rock came out on Blu-ray.
Yeah,
this
Fraggle
year.
Rock complete series.
Yeah, okay, whatever. I'm just saying, Batman.
This is literally the only other thing that I'm like
I'm saying
excited
if you're
about.
buying 2 DVDs and Blu-rays, Fraggle Rock is fantastic. That's, I
clearly
don't
a
disagree
different
with that.
audience, probably.
I don't know. I mean, maybe.
I mean, I'm the same audience, but you know.
Yeah, well, I think we're all the same audience.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, Batman the Animated Series is the fucking pinnacle of like superhero animation.
Yeah.
We were having a conversation about this the other day online. I think Batman Brave and the Bold was pretty damn good.
No,
It's really good,
It
but
is.
it's a different kind of
It's
story.
definitely a different flavor.
I mean, have they released like a complete set?
I want them to. 'Cause
I would buy
want it
that.
real bad.
Desperately
that.
want it.
I know they've come out with some of the seasons on DVD, but
have it, but I would buy it.
it also has the best version of Aquaman. Like, period.
Yeah,
Brave and
yeah.
the Bold. I
That's
love
true.
that.
But Batman the Animated Series is awesome. Do you have the complete Fraggle Rock? Yeah.
Do we have the?
No.
We didn't get the Blu-ray, but I think I have an older version.
I'm super curious about what the extras are on
Yeah.
the Blu-ray. Like that to me would be
I want it.
worth no.
Yeah.
And I want it to sell really well, and then I want Disney to be like, "Oh, we should release the Muppet Show on Blu-ray because it's only on DVD, and they don't have all the seasons out."
Yeah, they only
Yeah.
put like the first 3 and then canceled the 4th volume.
Sons of bastards.
Yeah.
Or if they did
like
finally
me
release it,
and,
they
like,
released it
4
as
other
an
people are really
online
upset
only if you knew about it, like they did with season 2, part 2 of Gargoyles,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
where you could only buy it online if you knew it was there.
Yeah.
Any other DVD Blu-rays that we're going to recommend?
I mean,
Well, I recommend mostly if people are fans of certain shows, like Dragon Ball Z is completely on Blu-ray now. They came out with the Blu-ray version of it. It was on sale on Amazon not that long ago for basically $15 per season, essentially.
yeah.
Dragon Ball Super is coming out on Blu-ray still. My Hero Academia, if you haven't been watching that show's also really good.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
There's some Blu-rays for most of that show right now.
But are there any specific like?
Duckman is on DVD now.
Finally.
I fucking love Duckman, so I do recommend
Yeah.
Duckman immensely.
I'm trying to think of like interesting like movies or if you have a fan, a person who is
Die Hard's on 4K now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You should buy Die Hard if
So
you...
is Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters is also on 4K.
Also, and I will say this, and this applies to both Die Hard and Ghostbusters. Older movies look fantastic on 4K. They're shot on film. They look outstanding. Both, because I have both Ghostbusters and Die Hard on 4K, and they look just incredible.
Yeah. One thing I would, two things that I would recommend getting or checking out. One is a movie that didn't get a lot of, I think it's like a year old, it may be a little bit old, but it is streaming, so you could probably watch it, but I think that you should pick it up on DVD or Blu-ray on Amazon, which is Dave Built a Maze.
Oh yeah, that was last year.
Just the cardboard box thing?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, it's really good. And then if you're a fan of Marvel movies, and maybe you want to know a little bit about a Marvel movie that never officially got released, but is totally out there to get, Doomed, the history of the unreleased Fantastic Four movie.
The Roger Corman.
Yeah, the Roger Corman Fantastic Four movie. This is similar to the Superman Lives documentary that was done, which I don't know if you're familiar with that.
I also recommend that one, actually.
Yeah, Superman Lives documentary, which...
That documentary is crazy.
Yeah, that documentary is
so
crazy.
weird.
Unfortunately, the
bad
guy
shit.
who directed that one died not too long ago.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
I
think
didn't
he
know that.
also was part of Doomed as well.
Oh, okay.
I think he had, or I don't think he directed it, but I think he had,
Like a
like he was a producer or something on it.
That sounds about right.
Because I know he had he wanted to do this for a lot of different projects. Like I think he was also trying to get information to do a documentary on the JLA movie that was...
the one with, I almost said Greg Miller.
Frank Darabont? No.
What the fuck is his name?
George Miller,
George Miller.
the
thank you.
director of Mad Max.
I accidentally said Greg Miller.
Yeah, yeah. No, but yeah, like I know he was apparently when he passed away, unfortunately, that's what he was working on. So that'll never make it to the light of day. But I would recommend Doomed. I think it's actually really good, and plus you get to see the history of and the craziness of that Roger Corman Fantastic Four movie, which I will argue probably has a better plot than any other Fantastic Four movie.
It's
just has
true.
a
All of it.
creepier relationship between Sue Storm and
Yeah, it does.
what's his face, Reed Richards, because she's a child when he first meets
Yeah,
her.
she's like
Four
12 years old when...
4 Fantastic Four movies, and we can't get a good one yet.
Right?
It's
Yeah.
freaking ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's old, but because we just discovered it, this year, I think Resolution, the 3 films, Resolution, Spring, and The Endless, and The Endless is on Netflix. It came out in 2017. Are 3 great films by directing team Benson and Moorhead, which sound like puppet names. I'm just saying, like Statler and Waldorf, and then Benson and Moorhead. But
I can't unhear it now.
all on Blu-ray together on Amazon. It's only $30, give or take.
There's some saying that all 3 movies take place in the same cinematic universe.
Right. Well,
but in actuality, only
Resolution and The Endless
are tied together. The other one, what was it called?
Spring.
Spring has nothing to do with the other 2 movies, but is equally as good.
Mm-hmm.
I will recommend Teen Titans Go to the movies because I really like as a fan of comic books.
Yeah, I mean, given how much you're both,
it's genuinely a good.
Yeah,
it's
on and on with about it. These guys.
Yeah, if you have a kid, it's great. It would be great to watch something with them. It's smarter than it has any right to be.
As a person who has to watch a lot of kids' movies over and over and over and over again, this is one that I recommend because I've seen it 4 times, maybe 5, and
I laugh so hard every time.
It's still good
when they fight Superman.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's
every
fucking
time.
Okay. Challenges the Unknown one just gets me, kills me, slays me every time.
Because it comes out of nowhere.
It's so funny. Anyway, sorry.
I also listened to the soundtrack like crazy right after.
Okay. So another one which I'm pretty sure Mike, and I don't know if Amanda has anything for it, but I'm pretty sure she does, which is video games.
I have one.
Absolutely.
Oh, you do
video
have
game
one.
recommendation.
Oh, okay.
You stand back, everybody. Shocked and surprised.
Yeah, I think there's probably 2 big ones that I would assume
so
that
many.
There's a lot of games this year
that I recommend. There's so many I recommend.
But since Rod, why don't you go first?
Oh, you want me to go
Because
first?
I think you might have one of the more.
I'll have one that nobody is probably going to mention.
Oh, okay.
It's $58 on Amazon. You can get it right now. It is not available for. It is in stock, but it's not available for Prime, at least that I'm able to find. The Atari Flashback, 8 gold console HDMI version,
Okay.
$60. Comes with 2. It is a recreation of the Atari 2600.
Yeah.
It's got. Comes with, unlike the Nintendo ones, which you have to buy additionally adapters to make it so, comes with 2 wireless controllers. Not 1, but 2, and they're both wireless already, so you don't have to buy the wireless adapter that you have to buy for the Nintendo ones.
Yeah.
120 games.
Oof.
That's pretty good.
So, Missile Command, Asteroids, Millipede, tons of other stuff, Pitfall, River Raid. So it's if you were someone who liked Atari games growing up or when you were young, if your dad had one, if your mom had one, whatever, this is pretty cool.
So I think this actually ties into something I'm going to suggest. Everyone, is out there is probably going, I want the NES Classic, or I want the SNES Classic, or they're even asking for I think it comes out in a couple of weeks by the time this comes out or something like that.
Classic.
The PlayStation Classic, which I'm going to say don't bother with that.
I hear it's not great.
It's the games. Their selection of game is not that great.
Okay.
But one thing I'm a huge fan of is Neo Geo. A lot of people may not be familiar with Neo Geo because it was mostly an arcade.
My friend loved Neo Geo. He has a Neo Geo Pocket still to this day.
Well, so Neo Geo just released the Neo Geo Mini, which is a tiny arcade cabinet that's literally
adorable.
It's like a small,
like the size of a coffee pot.
Yeah. It's tiny and small. And it has a built-on joystick and button controllers, but you can also purchase separately.
I feel like you're gonna play that and the whole thing's gonna move because you joystick too hard.
It does also come with. It doesn't come with, but you got to purchase 2 separate controllers if you wanted them. But in addition to having its own screen and not needing to hook it up to a TV, you can actually hook it up to a TV. The current listing price on Amazon is $97.08, and it comes with 40 different wildly popular Neo Geo SNK games. Now, there is 2 different versions. There's a Japanese version, and then there's what's referred to as the international version. The international version is the one I'm recommending because that's going to be the one you're going to be able to get here in the States and in Europe and any place other than Japan. But it comes with games like the Metal Slug games, like Metal Slug 1, 2, 3, X, Metal Slug 4, Metal Slug 5, King of Monsters 2, Sengoku 3, Magician Lord, Blues Journey, Shock Troopers, Second Squad, Robo Army, Cross Swords, Mutation Nation, a bunch of King of Fighter games, Fatal Fury, a couple of Fatal Fury games, Samurai Showdown, Last Blade 2, World Heroes Perfect, Ninja Masters Top.
How many total games does it come with?
40.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's got a lot of games. It's got a decent amount.
That is a decent amount.
And I couldn't name 40 Neo Geo games.
Yeah,
so I mean, it's probably got the one.
It's going to be mostly fighting games and Metal Slug. Like that's the things that most people are going to recognize is fighting games and Metal Slug, and then it's got a bunch of weird, exactly. And then it's got a bunch of other weird games. But I am totally excited for this. I really want this. I actually think it's a great little device. It's even got some games that weren't available on the Neo Geo Pocket that was released a little while back. So I mean, it's for it's $100 essentially regularly. I think that's a great price. Now, like I said, downsides to it are if you want controllers, like actual handheld controllers, you do have to buy those separately, and they're about $20, $25, depending on if you want the black one or the white one. But it can take
racist, John.
They come in black and white, but you know so the only other bad thing is that it does not come with an HDMI cable, which is weird. So if you want to hook it up. But then again,
if
most
you need
people
to hook it up, just reach out to me. I think I've got an extra 20,000.
But I think everyone has around. I think everyone does have their own HDMI cables. The only problem is that unlike most devices that just use the standard HDMI connection, the connection on the back of the device is an HDMI mini port. So you would need an HDMI mini to HDMI cable for it to work. So you probably, regardless, will have to go out and buy an HDMI cable if you want to hook it up to your TV. But I still think it comes with its own screen, so you don't even have to worry about that. And for everything I've looked at, videos and everything, the screen looks great for how tiny it is.
Yeah,
it looks great and it's easy to play.
And you can feel like you're a giant playing in a tiny arcade.
Yeah. So, but I think that's a great product. So that's why.
Who's next?
I can go. The only game that I've been playing religiously lately is Let's Go Pikachu, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu for the Nintendo Switch, which you can get with the Pokeball controller for $100 with the game. So it's a Pokeball.
Including the game.
Including the game, yeah.
Okay. So otherwise, that's a very expensive controller.
Right, and it's tiny, but it's very, it feels great. It's made really well, because I was worried it was going to feel like cheap plastic that was too light, but it has a really nice, weight to it. So it lights up, it actually makes noise, so when you capture a Pokemon, it actually makes, the Pokemon will make a noise in the Pokeball, which is really cool. For tiny hands, so unless you have small hands or you are a child, you're buying it for a child, I don't strongly recommend getting it.
Yeah, you and me.
I played with Jeff on Rage Select, and he had to use 2 hands to just kind of try to get it to work, and he looked like just hilariously all thumbs. He just couldn't do it. But
I mean, tiny hands. So
you can also play it using the controllers, using just the gamepad, which I've been doing more often than not. It's just playing it like it's a handheld.
Yeah.
It's just insanely fun.
Yeah, and the other things that are fun, interesting, which I know you haven't done, but I know you can do it with the Pokeball controller, because there's you connect it to the game. You can actually transfer a Pokemon from your game to the controller, and then you can take the controller with you, with you regularly, and you can interact with it, it'll make noises and say things, and you can poke at it and press the buttons, and it'll apparently count your steps, and then when you go back, your Pokemon may be stronger than it was.
Yeah, it'll level it up.
And then also,
I don't need that because I'm really good.
Yeah,
from way back when.
Yeah, and then I think also you can use it on Pokemon Go on your phone. You can connect it to your phone, I think.
Yeah, you can. You have to find an area in the game, which took a long time.
Well, no, I'm in the controller.
Oh, you can connect it to your Pokemon Go characters?
I think you can connect. I don't think you can transfer to and from the controller, but I think you can use the controller on your phone as your.
But you'd also have to be really comfortable walking around with the Pokeball just like hanging from your pants or whatever, because it's noticeable.
People have been waiting for that their entire life. So.
I know, but like I've been waiting for it, and I'm 31, and I don't think I can handle that sort of reality where I'm just like casually walking around with the Pokeball.
If a 10-year-old can go out,
I mean, I have a Jigglypuff tattoo, so I don't know.
With a Pikachu, then you can handle that. I'm just kidding.
But yeah, I mean, and the game by itself, if you don't want that, the Pokeball with it is only $60, like a standard game.
The joke about Professional Oak is always the same. Ash, is your mom still single? Go catch every single Pokemon in the universe.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a pretty good one. Michael, you got any recommendations?
Recently, Dragon Ball FighterZ came out for Switch, so I'm going to still recommend Dragon Ball FighterZ. It's still technically within this year. It came out in January. All of the DLC's out. They added a new anime music pack recently for $15 that has a lot of great old Dragon Ball Z music attached to it, including the song when Gohan went Super Saiyan 2 in Japanese. That's in there. Probably my favorite Dragon Ball Z fighting song is in there. It's funny because a lot of these songs don't have actual names. In fact, this song specifically is like M9 something because that's just the track name. They had to call it Dragon Ball Z in the game because it doesn't actually have a track name.
Yeah.
It's a great fucking fighting game. It plays a lot like the Marvel vs. Capcom games, but it's very simple to get into, like right away. It's so fucking good. It's got both English, Japanese voices. It's got a pretty long story mode. It's got its online mode, and yeah, since it's on Switch recently, that's one of the reasons I recommend it, like 100%, because now you could probably take it on the go.
Yeah, and I would also add, other games that are probably obvious, but we should recommend them anyways. The new Spider-Man game for the PS4 is totally a game. If you have not played it yet, you should totally go buy it because it's get it for Christmas because it is probably the best superhero game. Period. Yeah. Like not just Spider-Man game, but like superhero game.
It's fairly long.
I don't know that Aquaman game for Sega. It's pretty tight, yo.
That GameCube Aquaman game.
Yeah, I actually own that.
The game is pretty long. It's got a great story. It doesn't really. It goes with its own thing from beginning to end.
Yeah.
It's got 3 DLC packs, but only 2 of them are out at the moment.
Yeah,
I would say if you know someone who already has the game, maybe buy them the DLC.
Yeah, buy them. It's called the City That Never Sleeps.
The first one was called. Yeah, it's like it's a season pass for.
The first one's called. What the fuck? It's a Black Cat one.
Silver Linings.
Yeah, Silver Linings.
Silver Linings.
No, Silver Linings is the third one.
Oh, it's the third one.
I forgot what the fucking first one's called. The second one's called Turf Wars. But the first one involves Black Cat and some.
Yeah, I think it might just be called Black Cat or something.
Something like that. And there's going to be 9 costumes in all with the DLC packs. Including the already 20 something in the game currently. Some are made for the game itself, so some of them are brand new,
completely original creations by various artists.
It's so fantastic, and if you just quick thing, if you're going to read the new Spider-Geddon number 0 takes place after the game does. So if you end up reading that, please beat the game first before you read that issue.
Yeah. Other obvious ones is Red Dead Redemption 2, which has been pretty popular. It's been eating up most of my time lately. And even they just launched the Red Dead Redemption Online component. It's currently in beta.
Do not watch the Man Bear Pig episodes of South Park, by the way. That came out recently. If you have not played Red Dead.
Yeah, it spoils everything.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy how much it spoils.
I don't watch South Park, so I don't have to worry about that. But
gaming the system.
Red Dead's great. It's absolutely one of the best games I've played this year. There's a lot of games this year that are really good.
God of War.
God of War was really good.
Is another good one. To go back to the Switch, Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate came out.
Yeah.
Monster Hunter World is on the other 2 systems.
Flaunting a Switch, man.
Right.
Crash Bandicoot recently came out for Xbox One and the Switch.
Yeah.
And the new Spyro came out too. Generations, the trilogy.
As far as more pimping out of the Switch, the Super Mario Party came out, which has been a lot of fun. And then
Smash Brothers is coming out soon
Smash
enough.
Ultimate.
Smash Ultimate comes out in a couple of weeks, so by the time
Amiibo
you hear
Hunt
this,
is on again.
Yeah, so many amiibos. I need to go get the Ryu one so I can get Ken.
Yeah,
and then get Little Mac and Mega Man.
I'm only missing Cloud of the ones that originally came out that I wanted. And now, whenever Simon and maybe a Richter, if it comes out, we'll buy the fuck out of both of those.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
I already have a Kirby amiibo.
Yeah, you do. You also have a Yoshi, Yarn Yoshi amiibo as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, those were...
I just get gifted them when when Jeff from Reach gets them for something, and then he just goes, "I don't want it," and throws them at me.
Yeah, because
he hates Kirby.
I was an amiibo hunter, at its when it first started, and that shit was stressful.
Yeah.
So stressful. I would drive to Target every other night, and maybe a Little Mac's there now, maybe Captain Falcon's there right now.
Did you ever find a Little Mac? Because I went looking, and
I got him because I was constantly paying attention to the Target website, and it was it's at the Kyle right now, and I hauled ass to Kyle, and they only had one. The same with the Captain Falcon. Apparently, they just always only had one.
Yeah.
And so I got lucky. They re-released Little Mac, but by that point, I didn't have any money to get another one.
Yeah.
So I did want another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then another thing I would recommend that's a video game for Switch is the Labo, Nintendo Labo sets. Those are great. I got one of them as a gift.
Somebody's obsessed with cardboard.
Yeah, no.
He is, right?
Well, I mean, it's like...
What you do is you get John, Dave built a maze, and then you get him Nintendo Labo, and then you put it all in one big cardboard box, and he would be so happy.
And then you wallpaper the bedroom, that room with cardboard.
He would be so happy.
Okay, so my big thing is I'm a huge fan of Lego. I like putting things together, and Labo kind of, in a strange way, taps into that while also being a video game, and then it's stuff that I can play with in the video. I've got the robot suit one.
Okay.
I love the brilliance that Nintendo had of let's sell something where they get to build a piece of the game, and let's just be real open about we're going to use the absolute cheapest material we can, literally cardboard.
They actively wanted to tap into the idea of when you're a little kid and you have a box and you're
brilliant.
Imagination.
Yeah. No, it's totally brilliant.
And the way they even have the little punch outs of the cardboard, because you punch out the parts, they actually, for the most part, are still a solid thing that you can then use as stencils on so if you break something, you can stencil it onto a piece of cardboard that you have and cut it out, and hey, you got a replacement part for your piece, for your thing.
That's very impressive what Nintendo did, which is some cardboard.
It's
they sold us boxes and
yeah, we got super excited. Let's make a piano out of cardboard. Fuck
what's even great about it is they even, in addition to
Toto
the built-in
within the first 24 hours with that thing.
There's a video of John Carpenter trying to play the Halloween theme song on it, and he is so mad the entire time. He's like, "It's garbage."
But in addition to their standard stuff, the piano, here's a piano that you can play. Oh, here's a game that we've invented that uses the piano, or the house where you can do stuff, or you're in the robot suit. They also have the what they refer to as the Labo Garage, where you essentially program your own software.
Really?
Within the game to do stuff. So people, because they have the piano, and then they also have the robot thing, you can actually set sounds to the different motions. So a lot of people set it to be drum set stuff. So if you're pulling your arm like this, it makes a drum beat, and you can actually, really cool. Depending on how you move, can actually be you can create your own drum track. And then people have actually programmed it so that the screen has strings, and then they basically cut out a guitar shape, and then put a sliding thing on the neck where you put in a controller, and so when you're, depending on what buttons you press on the controller, and as you're sliding it up and down, and what you strum on the screen will actually play different notes for a guitar. So you can actually create an entire...
Didn't Jimmy Fallon do his band?
Him and
his band?
Ariana?
Well, not his band.
The Roots would probably take
offense to that. Roots. I'm sorry, I couldn't think of their name.
But yeah, it was Jimmy Fallon, The Roots, and Ariana Grande?
Ariana Grande?
Yeah, Ariana Grande. Right. They did one of her songs. They fully did one of her songs.
That's interesting.
While she did the vocals, and then I think she also played the triangle.
I know they also...
She's so talented.
Yeah, I know they made the Labo compatible with Mario Kart now as well. So Labo is
that makes sense because they have the control.
Which I think is really cool. A couple other ones, I guess. The Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection has damn near every version of Street Fighter 2 on it. All of the versions of Street Fighter 3, Alpha 1, 2, and 3. The normal versions, not the ones that have all the characters for 3, for instance, which is a shame, but it's great, though, if you really like Street Fighter.
Yeah.
It's on every system as well. I was trying to think of something. The new Kirby game Was that this year?
Yeah, shit. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, Star Allies.
That one's also a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Kirby is fucking
super fun.
Amazing. I love Kirby because every story starts off as so innocent, but by the end of it, you're fighting like a crazy fucking god that wants to murder the entirety of the universe, and I fucking love him for it.
Yeah.
The 3DSs are still really nice. They came out with a re-release of Luigi's Mansion.
Yes.
For 3DS, which I adore Luigi's Mansion.
Yes, so it's really good.
I would definitely get that on there. The sequel technically is on there as well.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, the Luigi's Dark of the Moon. Yeah, Dark of the Moon, that came out already a long time ago.
No, is it Dark Moon or am I thinking of the Transformers movie?
I don't know. Something like that.
Either way, they're both really good.
Yeah.
They re-released a bunch of Super Mario RPGs on there as well.
Yeah.
Which I also do highly recommend.
All right.
That's about most of what I can think of right away.
Yeah.
So. But there's a lot of games.
There's a lot of games. There's a lot of
stuff.
Like,
I didn't even mention anything that's on the Xbox
yeah,
One. So I just don't have one, so I don't even know what's on it.
There's not a lot. Like, I really didn't play a lot of Xbox One games this year. Like, I have an Xbox One and I barely touched it. If you're, the only thing.
Red Dead Redemption 2 is I have that on Xbox.
I mean, I will say
it's gorgeous on the One X.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say if you have if you have someone that has an Xbox One and maybe you don't know what to get them, one thing you might want to do is maybe get them a subscription to the Xbox Game Pass.
Yes.
Which gives them access.
Or buy some 4K movies because that's what it does.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It can play 4K movies, which the PlayStation 4 can't. Moving away from video games.
A little jab at
moving away from video games. Rod, this may be something that you have a little bit more.
I don't
know. Is tabletop games.
Oh God.
I do have one only because we went to Rogue's Gallery recently and I saw it and I thought it would be a great gift. Although expensive, $142 on Amazon.
Holy fuck.
Dungeons and Dragons core rulebook gift set.
Oh.
It has the Monsters Manual, the Dungeon Master's Guide, and the Player's Handbook. It also comes with the Dungeon Master's screen, everything you need to create, and play adventures of your own in the world's greatest role-playing game. It's just really beautifully put together.
It's 5th Ed, and I will say I've played every version of that game since Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, and it is the best version of D&D, I think.
Yeah, so I think
and I like it so much better than Pathfinder.
Anyone that wants to get into D&D, I think this is a nice gift of putting everything together and giving you a little.
It's pricey.
Yeah, it is
very pricey,
but it's also.
But really, if you're going to get into D&D, you're probably going to end up.
And it's all really high quality. Like, it comes in a nice slipcase box to put everything in that looks really like nothing else. I mean, it looks great.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
I will recommend, and I only recommend this because it's my wife's favorite game. It's called Seasons. You're going to find it. It's by a company called Asmodee, Asmodee. You can find it online, particularly Amazon or anywhere else that sells games. Your local game shop is likely to have it because it is in stock. It's like a machine build. It's like it's not really. It's a strange mix of things. But the goal is to raise most victory points by gathering energy, summoning familiars and magic items. You have to amass crystals and symbols of prestige, and you're trying to become the kingdom's most illustrious mage. And you're using your cards to basically build machines that grind your opponent into dust.
Nice.
But it's a fun game. You can play. I believe you can play as little. And this is the big reason that I recommend this game. It's one of the few really good tabletop games that you only need 2 people to play.
Oh, nice.
You can play 3 and 4 people, but you can genuinely have a good time playing as a 2-player game.
Yeah.
So I would recommend that for sure.
It's
about $40, so it's not crazy. I know some of those tabletop games can be outrageously expensive.
Yeah.
So this one's only about $40 and well worth it because it's very beautifully done. The artwork is great. It comes with a lot of pieces. It's good quality.
Do you want to talk about Spell Smasher?
Yeah, Spell Smasher. That's literally the only thing I could, for some reason, it's the first thing I fucking thought of.
We recently played this, 2 weeks ago?
Basically.
But it's part Scrabble, part like
D&D
D&D-ish.
Yeah. So it's like you all are different types, or you're all adventurers.
Yeah.
You have equipment, and you have to beat monsters using points. But the way you get points is you have to spell out a word, and you essentially are getting your cards that you're given are letters, and they basically you have to put them together. And like certain monsters are,
So each
it was very strange.
Yeah. So some letters are given like elements to them, like earth or water or fire, and then some enemies you're fighting. Yeah. And some enemies you're fighting are impervious to those things, or super weak to it, and they all have loots of gold. So you're trying to take all their loot, and
their health is their gold.
Right.
As well.
So it's just an interesting, weird.
We tried very hard to make as many like fucked up words as you could, but the game makes it like nigh impossible.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I was close a few times.
I spelled moron, so that's as far as I got.
Yeah, I had FCK once, and I was very upset.
I had the U the entire time.
Yeah.
I would have been great with it. Yeah, the thing about the game that I thought was kind of strange was the use of some of the way certain letters were given. Like wounds were sometimes combinations of letters, or letters that you couldn't get otherwise.
Yeah, so from the enemies you would get wounds, and the wound cards would be combination of letters. So you'd get like NT, or like
ING,
or like EST.
Q that can also be used as a U.
Yeah, and so things like that. So then you would have to use those in your words, and so sometimes it made it harder. Sometimes it made it better.
Yeah, and if you're not able to use those when the game is finally over, those count against your final score.
It also still has kind of the same rules of Scrabble, so nerdy things that we came up with we could not use. Unfortunately,
well, they wouldn't. The person we were playing with wouldn't let me use.
Well, that's because we were going by the actual rules of the game.
Yeah, because the rules of the game were like no pronouns,
like
and
no
I really
things
wanted
that you
to
want
use
to
the
do.
name of cities. And
yeah, I had so many nerdy ones. You remember? I had like Haman was one from JoJo.
I feel
I
like
could have spelled Mordor.
I feel like if we were to play it again, I would change the rules a little bit and be much more like loose with the rules, because it was just more fun for us.
And every monster is like a letter as well.
Yeah, so when you defeat a monster, if you are the one who killed the monster, essentially, you get their card, and then that card becomes a permanent letter that you can use to make a word to make it easier for you.
Okay.
It's an interesting game.
I thought it was kind of neat, especially if you're trying to teach somebody how to spell. I think it's actually a fun way of doing that, to be honest.
Yeah.
Or if you're friends with straight up nerds that like
play every
spelling games.
Yeah. My problem was that with this one is that every
I want to see a bunch of English teachers play it though.
Oh,
see
God.
what happens.
Yeah, I think my problem is that every game that I'm interested in, or that I think would be great to recommend for this, doesn't come out until next year.
Yeah.
And so I can't, it doesn't work to recommend it for this for this holiday.
Well, the only other answers I have are games that I either A, have just been interested in myself, or B, I think of nerdy wise, I think of, which is, the Ghostbusters board game, which is fairly expensive, but...
Yeah, I think it's also out of print, but they did release a sequel.
Yeah, they're coming out with a sequel. I don't know if they...
No, it's out.
Yet.
It is
out. It out already?
It is out, and there's 2 expansions for it.
Yeah, the real Ghostbusters expansion, and what was the other one? I can't remember. The real Ghostbusters was the one that I wanted the most.
Yeah.
That one you can the first one you can sometimes find if you're lucky. I think there's a place here in town that still has one of them.
Yeah.
Which I still sometimes stare at.
it's expensive because it's like
fairly
$60.
Expensive. It was at a half price at one point for a while, and by the time it became affordable, I didn't have the money.
Yeah. But let's talk about toys, like actual toys. Does anyone have anything for this, or am I the only one?
The Marvel Legend toys aren't too bad. The same with the DC Universe ones, or what the fuck they're called?
So overpriced.
They're overpriced as hell, but some of them are
crazy, insane overpriced. As a person who has a son, I cannot recommend a $20 action figure. That's flipping ridiculous.
Those action figures aren't for kids.
Yeah,
they're for people to...
My kid sees them and he likes them. I'm not spending $20 on one.
So I would say for me, because as I mentioned earlier, I'm a huge fan of Lego. And I'm also a gamer, and that means I love Overwatch. The problem is that the Overwatch Legos don't come out until the end of January.
Well, then you can't talk about that.
But I can talk about if you go directly to Blizzard's website on their store, they have a Lego Overwatch Bastion set, which is a Blizzard.com exclusive, store exclusive, and it's a little transforming Bastion, the robot character from Overwatch, and you can build it. And
can't go wrong with Lego. My kid loves Lego. He just put together today the Hogwarts Express set.
Nice.
And I had to rebuild part of the train because he gets about 85% of it right.
Yeah.
But the problem is if you get that 10 or 15% wrong, you have to go back. You have to undo it until you figure out where the mistake was made, and then get him back up to where it was.
Was he like, I'm done and I have all these spare
parts? He'd be
parts.
like, hey, Dad, I can't. Where's this part go? And I'm like, what? Oh man, you built this part really. It's like the train's uneven. Okay, let me figure out what's going on here. But I would say that he built 90% of it by himself. Yeah. So pretty good. Yeah, the Legos are great, man.
Yeah.
Buy a big set for a kid and just that was his day. It was great. It was awesome.
I have the same reaction.
Yeah.
If you can find the DC Icons figures, I really like those a lot. They did a Green Arrow from Longbow Hunters, Superman from the John Byrne run, a few Batman as well from, I can't remember which one it was, but there's a lot of really cool ones in there.
That's an iconic look.
They all come with little things, like John Byrne Superman comes with the little Helix.
Those have been out for...
They've been out for a while, but they're all really cool.
Yeah.
Personally. I like Green Arrow one, for instance, can hold the arrows it's super, super fucking posable as well. I do recommend those immensely.
Okay.
Not any of those style of games, but there is there is a WoW stuff collection, officially licensed Harry Potter's light painting wand, which is a wand almost similar to what you would get in the Universal thing,
Universal
the interaction.
Studios,
Their interactive wand. It's similar to that, but it comes with an app for your phone, which works on Android or iOS, where you paint in colors with your wand. So you just pull your phone up while you're painting with your wand in what's it called, AR. Mm-hmm. So it shows up in real time, and it looks really cool, which I think is a really fun thing for Harry Potter fans. We just went to a big old Harry Potter Friendsgiving thing, so all I could think about was how much my friends would desperately want this.
Yeah, that sounds cool. I dig that.
But
my kid just asked me, he wants to reread the first Harry Potter book, so we're going to start rereading that again.
Nice.
Yeah. Moving over to something that's kind of maybe still considered toys, but I'm calling it gadgets. Some of which could be toys for big kids, some which could be toys for kids, younger kids. Specifically, what I'm going to talk about is, have any of y'all heard of Little Bits?
Yes.
So it's a company that they make little...
if you say bits, I'm going to slap you.
They make essentially allows you to it almost is teaching electronics to kids. Mm-hmm. They have a set which I think is interesting that I specifically linked to here in my notes, which is a Avengers Hero Gauntlet, which is essentially Iron Man's glove.
Yeah, sure.
Where basically they are connecting all the electronic wires and putting it together so that it lights up in a specific way, and they can program it to light up the way they want. Mm-hmm. I think this company has also made an R2-D2 droid that you can it's a translucent casing, but the wires and stuff, and it actually is interesting to me because if you want to see the rod, if you want to see what the gauntlet thing looks like,
that's Iron Man.
Yeah,
I saw it for a second before.
But it's got a bunch of electronic parts in it, and you can actually customize. The kids can customize it to look however they want, with different colors and things like that. And then they can do different. It has like different. It can do like different things, like the gauntlet thing. Like it can tell you how fast you're moving your hand, and it can also light up to do different
like designs
powers.
On it, yeah.
I use the word powers in quotations, and then also I think there's like an AR app that you can play with it. Play like a little game using the gauntlet. But they also have like little robotics kits. Like they also have one where the kid essentially builds a guitar, a working electronic guitar essentially. It's like a music inventor kit, like a space rover kit. And what I love about them is that everything's kind of purple scheme. They're meant for either boys or girls.
It's very gender neutral.
Yeah, they're trying to be very gender neutral on this, and I actually kind of really like this thing that's going on right now, which is kind of where a lot of companies are doing for education purposes, like maker type stuff. Like there's a company that makes like a little like tablet or where you can where a kid can actually put together a working computer essentially. It's essentially a Raspberry Pi with an interface, a better interface, but it's meant for kids so that they're not soldering anything, but they are connecting pieces, and it's teaching them about electronics and programming languages and things like that, but stuff that's easy for kids to understand.
Yeah, the Kano complete computer kit.
Yeah.
I can't unhear Mortal Kombat, though.
I know.
I studied your move, Sonya. Now you can program.
But yeah, the Kano does a bunch of different ones. So they do touch. They do a touch, which is like a tablet, and I believe they do a different one that's like a laptop, which just looks like a different
Kano
version.
messing with these things.
Right?
I want it so bad.
And I think they even make a Harry Potter wand where you can program a wand to build a wand as well.
Yeah, and those are all for like a younger audience to learn how to program or learn how to build their own computers and things like that.
Yeah, and this is meant for like younger kids, like 8 and up, kind of thing. So it's all very easy. Like I'm actually like looking at these things going, I want it for myself.
I've done that with a lot of stuff. Since my hands are small,
I think it's
kind of
cool.
Fuck with stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like my cousin bought there was these Iron Man repulsor things. If you go like this,
it
made the noise. It fit in my hand perfectly. So
you're like,
just dicking around with it for like an hour because this kid was too young to mess with it.
But yeah, I think that kind of stuff is really cool, and I think more parents should buy those for their kids and buy them for themselves as well. I don't know if they're into that sort of thing. But again, that's all stuff that plays into my love of like Lego.
Yeah,
like it really is just
John
building
just
stuff.
likes to put things together.
Yeah, I like to put things together, but I don't like puzzles. That's a weird thing. I don't like puzzles. I like instructions with how to put together.
Well, I think it's different because you're not solving for anything; you're just making random shit.
Yeah.
So
like
and learning at the same time. Yeah, tinkering. Yeah. Anyone else got any like gadgets or
everything? I recommend Sonos. If you don't have Sonos speakers, I super recommend getting them. I have them throughout my house now, and it's maybe the best investment of like technology I've bought for my house in years.
Nice.
It's awesome because you can just control everything from your phone. Like I can have music on throughout the whole house and be like, okay, I want to listen to an audiobook upstairs in my bedroom while my wife is downstairs listening to, music while she cooks dinner, while my kid is in the living room watching listening to something on the TV. You can mix and match. If I'm upstairs in my room listening to an audiobook, I can walk downstairs and transfer the music with me.
Wow, that's really cool.
To down in the kitchen, or like we have one Sonos speaker that has Alexa. I don't have it throughout the whole house, but like the one in the kitchen has Alexa, which I shouldn't say too loud or it'll ding.
Yeah, she'll hear you.
She hears you. She'll know.
But like we play Jeopardy. When we cook dinner, we'll play Jeopardy because that's one of the things you can do, and it'll do like 12 question Jeopardy every day.
Huh.
And so like it's just got a ton of really cool features.
I don't need my Alexa to know
the sound quality. You'd be surprised how smart you are compared to, because they tell you what percentage you've scored in.
Yeah.
And we'll have like a really bad night, and they'll be like, "You scored in the top 20%." And I'm like, "Oh my god!"
Nobody knew.
You also have access to, if you have Alexa, you also have access to Skyrim Very Special Edition, which is essentially just a text like GURPS text-based adventure, but set in the world of Oblivion.
And playing with the Alexa thing is just really fun. Like it'll do all sorts of. One of my wife's favorite things is a thing called "Open a Box of Cats." You just say, "Alexa, open a box of cats," and it will make random cat noises.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
sometimes
my
it's
dog
one, sometimes it's multiple. My dog, only about 1 out of every 8 times, but about 1 out of every 8 times it thinks it's a real cat. And it's like jumps up and moves around, sees what's going on.
Yeah, I have a Google Home, and it has Mad Libs, and we just say the
it's sort of the
shit.
it's sort of the same. It's the exact same idea. Yeah.
We've got the Fire Cube. Which is pretty good. Like it's 4K and everything, so it's
it's really
my favorite thing about my Google Home is there's a Let's Players that I listen to called Funhouse, and sometimes they'll ask their Google Home random shit in the middle of it.
Does your Google
and it
Home
will
answer?
react every time.
That's so funny.
Like one of them was just like it was like a semen question of some kind. And I was just like hanging.
Like dudes on boats or
something like I was cooking and my Google Home just starts answering this question about semen. I'm like, what the fuck? It's like, I love Funhouse.
That is the downside with Alexa and probably Google Home as well. Sometimes you'll say something and it'll be if it sounds similar to Alexa, it will hear what it wants to hear.
If you're a wrestling fan, there is a wrestler named Alexa Bliss, and so anytime somebody throws a promo out about her, I
have a buddy of mine. He one of my coworkers, and he's like, I can't buy any of those Amazon products because my daughter's name is Alexa, and so it's just a nightmare.
My favorite thing is what happened to the Alexa when it first came out, which was a little girl started telling it to buy random shit, and it was buying and stuff.
Oh yeah.
But that's not the funniest part. The funniest part was that there was a news story about it, and every person who had their TV on at that point accidentally ended up buying all the shit she said because she repeated it.
That's so funny.
It was hysterical.
There are settings to fix that. There's also a setting. There is a task you can approve where you can change it where it's not Alexa anymore. You can say computer.
Oh,
instead.
that's even better.
So, like Star Trek.
Or worse, I guess, depending on what you use more often in your house.
Yeah.
I did think of another comic.
I don't say computer a lot. I'll say laptop or desktop, but I don't say computer a whole lot.
I like to say computer because it makes me feel like I'm in some sort of sci-fi thing.
I just like to make jokes about from that one Star Trek computer. Hello, computer.
Hello,
computer. I need you to sabotage something.
So what was you said you
I remember
just thought of another.
I thought of a comic that I was reminded to because of
that's good because we didn't give very many recommendations on comics. So.
Well, it's just I remember because it's on the wall. It shows the Spidey series.
Oh sure, yeah.
Which is really good because it's this nice little starter thing for people who really want to read Spider-Man but don't want to be bogged down by continuity.
Particularly these days.
Yeah, particularly these days. It's a lot of fun. It's like basically his early days kind of thing, and then they made a sequel to it too.
It's very Untold Tales of Spider-Man.
It's a lot of fun. It really is. Sorry, I just remember because I saw it on the wall. I love that series a lot.
It just came to me. I looked up to the heavens, and there it was.
There it was.
It rang out to me. Everyone's looking around the walls like, is there anything else we can mention?
Well, so the final category is more of and the rest kind of things. Are there any things that didn't fit into any of those categories that you might have want to recommend that people should look into getting?
If you drink, and this is the nerdy drink, I could recommend real drinks, but for nerdy drinks, if you drink, Johnny Walker has released the Game of Thrones whiskey blend. Now the interesting thing that they've done, because normally there are other blends, they did a director's cut blend of Johnny Walker for Blade Runner, which was actually featured in the original Blade Runner, that brand of alcohol. So that made sense at least. There was Old Forester did a Statesman whiskey from Kingsman. But those were just labels. What they've done here that's interesting, the Johnny Walker one, it's I think it's called White Walker, and it actually is the blend of whiskey is designed to be drunk frozen or cold, ice cold. So you put it in the freezer and the label will turn colors and reveal another image when it is cold enough, where it's at the coldest state that it's going to be in. So then it is at its optimal temperature for drinking.
That's awesome.
Is what I've been told. I have not bought a bottle yet, but it's Johnny Walker. I will say it's not super high quality whiskey, but if you're Game of Thrones hardcore nerd, you might enjoy it. And particularly if you're doing a Game of Thrones drinking game, it might be perfect for that.
I'm always a sucker for putting together a really nice themed gift set, so it's never just this movie because they want it in this game or whatever. But so I would do something Game of Thrones related with
you could throw that in
as
there.
well, and it would just be such a perfect little gift basket.
So I would actually say if you're someone who's like, you know what, I don't want to buy someone a physical gift that they're just going to throw away at some point, or a kid that would get tired of it. I want to buy a subscription to something. I want to get someone months of
Entertainment.
Feel free to pay for my Netflix next year.
Oh my God, I got a Netflix gift card for my birthday, and it was the greatest gift. I don't even remember what anybody else got me.
And not even crazy expensive, right?
Yeah, no.
It's not that expensive.
Yeah.
But what was your actual recommendation before I
recommend a couple things here. One, if you like comic books, I would definitely recommend getting a Comixology Unlimited subscription, because I think you can buy them as gift certificates.
What major company do they... Are there labels that they don't have?
Like, what do you mean?
Like, do they carry all the main?
So Comixology Unlimited is a monthly service from Comixology where you get access to a bunch of comics for free, not for free, but for the subscription price. Now they have books from Marvel, they don't have anything from DC on there, but they have a lot of stuff from Image, from IDW, from Boom,
Dark Horse.
They have all of those have comics that are part of it. They even have their own original content that you can't find anywhere else.
And I assume these newer, it's not the newest stuff, it's a few months old or whatever when they get
For some of them, they are the older stuff. They are a few months old.
Like, I'm sure you're not getting last month's issue of a Marvel comic.
Yeah, no, you're not.
Right.
And even then, like, a lot of the Marvel stuff, it's mostly like digital versions of collections for Marvel.
Okay.
And that's kind of what it is. It's more of the collected editions, like you'll find a lot of those. And then they'll also the single issues for those series
nice,
as well.
Especially
like
for
trades.
somebody that wants to like jump in on something to have those old traits to get.
And sometimes, like when Image Comics had their anniversary last year, for their anniversary, for like 3-month period, they put up every digital collection they had was available through Comixology Unlimited. And one of the things I really like about the service is that if you download a book, like you're saying, you can check out, like, I want to say like 30 books at a time, and if you download them, if they get removed from the unlimited service, as long as you don't delete it from your device, it stays there and is accessible unless you were to cancel your service.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, so I mean, you can. Like I said, I read so much stuff through there, and there's so many things that I never would have given a chance to.
Sure, because it's on there and it's easy. It's like Netflix, so much stuff I watch just because.
And then they also have like original content. Like there's actual Marvel books that come out there first.
On Comixology,
Unlimited,
for a while.
And then like there was a run of there was a storyline for Iron Fist. There was a Jessica Jones story that just got released as a physical issue, a single issue, but it was like I want to say Spidey was originally
I wouldn't be surprised.
released as a
Justice Warrior like that too.
All right.
You know,
So
all
that
of
sounds like,
Valiant
how much
stuff.
is it per month?
It's $10 a month. Yeah, I think it's like $10 a month. Maybe
not
less than
bad.
that. Actually, maybe like 5 something or 6 something. I can't remember the exact price, but I mean, I would definitely recommend getting it. It is great. I don't know if it's worth it, but maybe another subscription service to try out would be DC's.
Oh yeah,
Universe,
I heard
DC
some
Universe
stuff about their selection of comics and their the other shows on there.
Yeah.
I would be interested to know what their comic selection is like before I'd consider.
And it has
that.
all their cartoons too, doesn't it?
Yeah, it has all their TV shows, all their cartoons.
TV show cartoons would be a good deal. Their animated movies are
They're hit or miss.
Yeah, they're hit or miss. But the animated movies are on there. Plus, they're airing Titans, which a lot of people who got previews of the first 2-ish episodes of Titans were like, "This is not good. This is just grimdark for grimdark's sake." But it's weird because like everyone who actually subscribed to the service and has been watching it past those 2 episodes say no, they messed up in that the first 2 episodes are the worst. Of it, and that by the third episode, it becomes like the best DC television show. Period.
Those poor bastards.
Right.
Which really sucks.
I don't know. I don't know if I buy that.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are people saying it's better than any of the CW.
If it's a gift, it's worth the risk.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, if you want to get it as a gift for somebody, I think that's really cool. I haven't tried out the service yet, but I've heard nothing but good things. Plus, you get access to Batman.
If the comic selection is good, that would totally make it worthwhile.
Yeah, and they also have apparently the Batman animated series that's on there is the 4K restoration that's on the Blu-ray.
Oh wow!
Or not 4K, but yeah, they have like all Batman,
cool.
all the cartoon. They have Lois and Clark and the old '90s Flash.
Yeah, Lois and Clark.
Right?
I love Lois and Clark.
Dean Cain.
I have that whole thing on
He's
DVD.
dreamy.
I don't know why, but that's like what I was raised on. Lois and Clark was one of my mom's favorite television
Lois
shows.
and Clark, Dean Cain was my Superman.
Yeah.
For years.
Yeah.
I love it when they map the U.S. Oh wait.
There was an episode of Robot Chicken that made that joke.
Yeah.
Where they got Dean Cain and Terry Hatcher to do it.
Comixology is $5.99 a month, by the way.
$5.99. Yeah, it's actually a really good price.
So like a $20 gift card will get you a couple months for free.
Get them the gift pizza. Just buy them pizza gift cards.
Yeah.
Because everyone loves
if you live in Austin, get yourself, buy your friend a Draft House, Alamo Draft House gift card, perhaps.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
Actually, if you buy in the month of December, you get a $10 snack voucher for yourself.
Oh, that'll buy you like half of a
Fancy.
meal. Or half of a snack.
Fancy. No, it'll buy you a full snack. It won't buy you any meal.
It'll buy you the $6 gummy bears.
It'll buy you unlimited popcorn.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Get a good get a Coke. That's about it.
we did go see a movie today, and I will say, 3 people going and seeing a film and getting food, and I was like, I spent some money today.
Yeah.
That's why I don't go to the Draft House.
I mean, whatever. We don't go all the time. We'll go every once in a while.
Like, it's the closest theater to me, which is what makes it so much more frustrating.
Dude, we had to see Ralph break the internet, man. We just had to see it.
Yeah,
had to be done.
Had to break the internet.
I'm always a fan of movie theater gift cards, like any movie theater.
Yeah, we use them. Actually, I got one. Well, I got one last year from my mother-in-law, and I was like, "This is the greatest gift ever."
Yeah, it is.
The only time I've not used a movie theater gift card is when I got an Alamo Draft House gift card, and it was barely enough to cover one ticket, and I was like, "What am I going to do with this?" So I gave it to my friend that's single, that goes to the movies all the time, and only goes to the Draft House because it's like, I'm just gonna. We don't go to the Draft House that often, so I didn't really want to be spend extra money on top of it.
Yeah.
But I do think Netflix is a great
Netflix
gift
is great because it's not
Netflix is
Hulu.
so good.
Can you do one for Verve or Shudder?
I would actually say Verve is actually really good. Was going to be my next thing after the DC and Comixology.
Well, I said it first.
You
so
did. But if you actually do the subscription through Verve, which is $9.99 a month or $9.95 a month, you actually get access to content from Crunchyroll, which is subtitled anime. Though they do have some dubbed stuff. Then you also have access to Shudder. You also get access to all of the pay-for subscription content for Geek and Sundry, Rooster Teeth, and a few other. Also, they just recently added Nick Splat, which is basically all the old Nickelodeon content. And then also Boomerang's content is now on there as well. So you get all the old Hanna-Barbera.
What they show.
Strangely enough, Pete and Pete's the only thing that's not on Nick
Splat.
Really?
I could have sworn I saw a thumbnail with it.
Oh man, I'm so upset about that.
Binge, and they can't do that on television.
There's a lot of great shows on there as well. That's only mostly on there.
They also have their Verve Select, which is exclusive content for there. I mean, it's a really great service.
My roommate showed me Jonah Ray's show.
Oh, Jonah's Hidden America.
Fucking hysterical.
Yeah, it's really good.
Also, there's Harmon Quest, which is Dan
animated
Harmon.
version of his podcast D&D sessions.
Yeah, which are fun to watch. They also have all of Stargate Command on there as well.
Yeah.
So you can watch everything Stargate if you really are a fan of Stargate.
So much Stargate.
They just added a bunch of.
That's great for those 3 people.
Right? Finally.
I'm one of those 3 people. I'm one of those 3 people.
I used to be, but I stopped after.
I have a Stargate SG-1 jacket. Damn it.
Poor MacGyver.
Well, that's gonna be on the internet forever.
Not like it already wasn't.
I know.
But no. And so they also have they got most of a ton of MST3K episodes, old school MST3K episodes.
MST3K is scattered across the internet. It's
really
you get
is.
a couple on Hulu.
But they also have riff tracks as well on there as well.
Yes.
So they have a bunch of riff tracks movies as well on there. Plus, so does Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime also has a bunch of riff track stuff on there. So
they also have Psych on Amazon Prime.
Yeah. But
I love Psych.
But if you're not into the anime and the Rooster Teeth and the Geek and Sundry and stuff,
why are you listening to Geek Bombast?
Well, I'm just saying, if you're not into that stuff, but you are into horror, I would definitely recommend.
Oh, for Shudder.
Go for the single Shudder by itself, Shudder service, which I think is also
all the
$6.90 something or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's $8.99.
In which you get all the Joe Bob Briggs Last Drive-In stuff as they happen, and it's great. But if you want, in addition to Shudder, you want a bunch of other stuff, go for Verve. Verve is a great price. The only downside is they just recently lost Funimation, so all of the dubbed anime is going from that service.
So Dragon Ball Super in English and all of Dragon Ball in English is all on there.
Yeah, that's all.
The problem I have with subtitles these days is it's so rare that I'm watching a movie or a television show where I'm not also doing something else.
Yeah.
It just makes it tricky.
But
it's really the only reason to watch dub anime for some people.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying actually. Let me reword
I don't feel
that.
strong. I don't
let
feel
me
strongly
reword that.
about dub versus
let me reword that one, to be honest. No, like it's one of the reasons why I watch dubs of certain things, because I'm doing something else. Like I love Dragon Ball Z in both English and Japanese and Spanish technically. But if I'm doing something, I'll watch it I'll have it on in the background in English. So
yeah. But so does anyone else have any other recommendations? Anything they want to tell people that they should buy that we haven't talked about yet?
Get somebody a gas gift card.
No, but
Like,
really,
legitimately.
that's true, because
Pay for your friend's health insurance. They'll really appreciate it.
If you have that kind of money, you could go for
Yeah,
it. But
for real.
for real, getting like a gas gift card, like that would actually go a long way for some people.
Yeah.
Like,
If you have a friend that's
Or even
like
a
between
grocery
the
gift
age of
card.
like 20 and 40, if you get them like grocery store, gas station,
Yeah,
pizza.
I can't remember
anything that's like-
what it was, but I remember Joe Compton got me
The
an
last half
HEB
is-
gift card.
The last half
And I
of
was
this
like,
gift
fuck
guide
yeah.
really feels like a millennial gift guide.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. Most
Buy
millennials
as
are too
much
poor to buy anything.
toast
I hear
and
ya.
avocados you can give to somebody.
That's right.
But it sounds like that's the end of the episode. So thank you all for listening to this episode. Thank you all, Rod, Michael, Amanda, for coming on. And
Thank you, John.
I'm here no matter
I
what.
think your SG1 jacket.
I do think that SG1 jacket. I need to start wearing that more often.
Thanks.
I think need is a strong use of that. But okay. Yeah, all right.
But having said all that, if you want to email into the show, I think we discussed last week that we're going to do like every 5th episode is going to be just a Q&A focused episode.
Sure, yeah.
So if you have any questions, feel free to send them in now.
Keep them to yourself. No, wait, do the opposite of that.
Yeah,
Send them in.
feel free to send them in. You can send them in to geekbombast@gmail.com. You can also tweet at us at geekbombast on Twitter. You can also, it's at geekbombast on
All the socials.
Instagram,
The Facebook.
the Facebook. Yeah.
The Snapchats.
We're not on Snapchat, but
The Grinder.
strangely enough, we are on Grindr. No, we're
I
not.
mean, you gotta do what you gotta do.
So, swipe right on Tinder, and then you ask us a question.
Yeah,
make
that's
friends
something like
somehow.
that. But we're on YouTube. Go do a search for us on YouTube. I think you can also, thanks to Jeff over at Rage Select, you can also go to bit.ly/geekbombast. And
Yeah.
It takes you to our YouTube page, the correct YouTube page.
Oh, they're right.
So-
Right.
That's smart.
That's
Yeah.
That's smart. Send them to the right
And
page.
it's a short URL. It's bit.ly/geekbombast. So go to that.
It's a detailed
Subscribe
one
to
that
us on YouTube. We really appreciate that. But yeah, send us questions. We'll answer them on episode. This was episode 6, so episode 10. A couple weeks, 3-4 weeks, whatever. So do that. Until next time, I'm John Sitton,
I'm running.
I'm like.
Amanda.
and we're out.